gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good work there, Clement LaRue. Good evening there, and welcome to the latest Elite FPL Sunday Surgery. And if anybody can tell me how my audio is sounding, please let me know, because I don't want it too loud and I don't want it too quiet. So if you can just let me know how the audio is, please let me do in chat. Yes, welcome to the latest Elite FPL podcast, and yeah, I think tonight's episode is going to basically be a Steve-O rant special. This weekend has got to be up there with one of the worst in living memory for me. I honestly am perplexed at what has gone on. I just can't get my head around what... I really want to swear. I want to... You know, this isn't a... we don't swear on this show. This is a family-friendly show. And... yeah, I don't know what to say, but I want to start off by saying this. You may notice that it's just me. I should have said this at the beginning, really, but unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, Jason's having to look after his daughter. Basically, she's ill, so obviously that takes priority at the end of the day. So you've got me instead. So we wish his daughter Hayley all the best. But he did say that he will try and come on live with me at some point to discuss his feelings about this particular game, week 5. I honestly... I don't know what to say. I just... The fact that... And I will bring up... Don't worry, I will bring up a team on screen, by the way. I'm aware that people are desperate to see what points I got. At the moment, I've just put the fixtures up because I just don't even want to look at my team. And yeah, we will quickly just go through specifically what happened in today's games. We all know what happened yesterday. We will go into what happened in today's. And immediately... I'm lost for words. I'm sounding like Arkwright off Flaming Open All Hours for all you kids out there. Bournemouth 3, Everton 1. Now, the first thing to say is that the other day when I did my preview, I said to you guys about the fact that whenever I write down the common statistic that comes out of the specific corresponding fixtures of the last 6 meetings between the two teams, it's doing genuinely really, really well. Now, usually when I do a statistic, I will put kind of like 2 in there. So the most basic example I can give you is this. In the 6 previous matches Liverpool have played against Newcastle, Liverpool have only kept 2 clean sheets. And the other statistic was, as a common theme, 3 of the 6 matches Newcastle have scored twice. Well, one of those statistics came out true. Another one being, for example, that between Sheffield United and Southampton over the last 6 fixtures. Now, this is the weird one. There has been 4 clean sheets. There's also been 4 red cards in that specific fixture. Well, you can now add 5 clean sheets out of the last 6 in that specific fixture, and now 5 red cards in that specific fixture. Just to give you an example. Now, obviously, you don't know which statistic to go with. I'm fully aware. And also, I was thinking of FPL Booner today about the history. What did the history suggest we do to captain? It suggested we captain Salah. Now, before anybody starts banging on, yeah, but it said Mane. You shouldn't captain Mane. I fully appreciate that, but the history still suggested to go with Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Well, guess what? If you'd have gone with Salah instead of Sterling, have I regretted that? Not really. We'll come on to that in a minute. But Bournemouth versus Everton, the reason why I brought up this statistic is this. Bournemouth at home to Everton have now not lost to Everton in the last 4 fixtures at the Vitality. Also, they've now only conceded 4 goals. Away from home, Bournemouth are a shambles at Everton. In 3 fixtures, they conceded 10. But at home, they appear to like playing Everton. And we all know who scored. Callum Wilson with 2. Ryan Fraser, I found out, came off the bench. Josh King with an assist. Two assists. Yeah, thanks. And Rico. We had someone on the show yesterday. I apologise who it was, but they said that they were... Well, I questioned the fact that why on earth you would play Rico ahead of Pookie, I think it was. Well, okay, admittedly, it hasn't quite paid off per se, but got an assist. The Everton goals came from Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Of course, there was somebody in our Cash Mini League that's doing really, really well. Had Richarlison come playing today because he had 0.2 left over and did Martial to Richarlison. We then move on to this game. Watford versus Arsenal. Do you know, I so wish it stayed 2-1. You may be wondering why. Not because I predicted 2-1 in the score predictor game on our website, elitefpl.com. Nah. Not because I predicted 2-1 in the general overall game that we play when we do the... Nah. Because I decided to put money on the game. I did 6 bets. 4 of them being correct score, and 2 of them being what would happen in the particular game. They were basically £1 each, and one of the scores I put down was 2-1 to Arsenal. And then I find out, literally 20 minutes ago, it ended 2-2. Who goes and gets the goals for Arsenal? Aubameyang, of course. Jason banging on about him, about he is the next player to be bringing in. Who gets the assists? Kolasinac. Maitland-Niles. The player that everybody was slating Jason for getting into his wildcard team. Who got the Watford goals? Pereira, cleverly. Delafeu got an assist. Now, when I was mulling over this weekend's fixtures, and I'll bring up my team now, I messaged a good friend of the show, and just to let everybody know, the creator of our thumbnails, Alex Volo. So Alex Volo, the guy on the Discord, he's the guy that creates our wonderful, wonderful thumbnails. And I asked him, I said to him, look mate, I'm going to be honest with you. Could you make me up a personal thumbnail in which it's basically a mini wildcard special? Because the plan was to do a solo stream at some point next week, where, a bit like what Jason did, he revealed his wildcard on that impromptu stream that we did last week, Friday. Was it Friday, Thursday? I can't even remember. Wednesday, maybe? Wednesday. It was Wednesday. And I thought, I'm going to do the same. I want some ideas from the community what I could do with this team. I am very, very close about thinking of wildcarding. The only thing that's stopping me is that I don't actually have an issue with my team. So if we bring my team down, so I got 32 points so far this game week. Just it's atrocious. And unless Gilbert gets me an assist tomorrow, a clean sheet, it is atrocious. As you can see there, Pookie on my bench. I'm fully aware of that decision, and you all heard my rant last night about a particular individual who was banging on about the fact that why on earth you'd bench Pookie. Well, if you want to watch that rant, by all means go and go to the streams from yesterday, but I'm sure everybody's seen it. But the point being is that there was reasonings as to why various people bench Pookie. Now, I'm telling you now on Twitter, I mean, I thought I had it bad. There are some people out there that had Cantwell and Pookie on the bench that aren't going to be coming off. I don't have an issue with my team. It's very template, I'm not going to lie. I haven't got an issue with that. It's just, I don't seem to be getting the right captaincy picks, and as we all know, this particular podcast is all about the Cash Mini League that we all participate in, and congratulations, Show Me the Mane. I noticed that you're top of the league and you will still be staying top tonight, and again, we're going to go through all this tomorrow evening. Hopefully we will anyway. No, we will be doing it tomorrow evening. Obviously reflecting over the Cash Mini League, how everything's played out, but I am just dropping and dropping and dropping. In fact, Block FPL on one of our streams we did in pre-season. Block FPL, he asked the question, who's going to do better out of yourself, Dan and Jason? And I said this. I said it's probably going to be Jason, because at the moment, for whatever reason, he just seems to have all the luck in the world, but whatever, so he's going to continue his momentum. And I said that I'm definitely going to come ahead of Dan, which so far isn't the case. But I said this. My game week history, and I'll show you. I'll be more than happy to show you. There's a pattern that's formed on here. Basically, start with a bad season, then have a good season. Bad season, good season, bad season, good season, bad season, good season. And guess what? This season looks like it's going to be a bad season. But ironically, this is the first season where I don't actually have an issue with my team whatsoever. I'm actually very happy with my team. Like I said, I was going to do an not an impromptu one, but I was going to do a solo pod where I was going to get, just basically, like I said, do a mini wildcard. But I'm very, very close to potentially hitting the wildcard button itself. But I don't need to. It's like Andy Salter said, and like my point on Jason's team, I didn't need to. And you could be questioning, who on earth would you bring in? And I was playing around with ideas, and I was thinking, do I get rid of Salah, bring in Mane? Do I get rid of Sterling and bring in Agero instead? I'm sick of Sterling at the moment. There was somebody on, I apologise who it was. It may be Davey P. I don't know. I think it was Davey P actually. And he said that since, something along the lines of, since Sterling scored a hat-trick in game week 1, he's basically had 4 shots on target in 4 game weeks. Something, I don't know the specific quote or stat, but and it showed. I mean, if we look at Sterling's performance over the last 5 game weeks, I mean, to be fair, it's not that bad. Game week 1, 20 points, or 3 goals, however you want to look at it. Game week 2 a goal, game week 3 a goal, and then he blanks in the next 2. But my issue is this. The worrying factor for me is the fact that in 6 goals scored in the last 2 games for Man City, Sterling's had no involvement whatsoever. Whereas Agero, he stormed it. He's absolutely stormed it. And he's been sitting under the radar since game week 1. Let's be honest here. If we bring up Agero so far this season, look at that. He has scored in literally every single game. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I holding on to Sterling for a start? Now, I did put up a poll on Twitter. Now, I hope this works. Should work. Put up a poll on Twitter and received quite a lot of attention. And I simply asked the question, what's a better option? Would it be to dump Sterling to bring in Agüero to pair up with Kevin De Bruyne, or would it be to, where are you? This is when it will take forever to find a poll, won't it? There we are. Right, there it is. There's the poll there, and thank you for everybody that participated. But the poll was this. Who's better to have a Man City attacking coverage along with Kevin De Bruyne? Quite a simple question. And it was, is it Agüero or Sterling? Well, the outright winner there, well, I say outright, was 64% was Sterling. 86 votes. And I think that's wrong. I think Agero is the guy to have. I think Agero is the one that I should be getting in. I think, don't get me wrong, Jason got an Agüero. His wildcard has... I'm going to let him speak for himself. I don't want to talk on Jason's behalf. I want, if Jason's available to come on, whenever that will be, again, due to unforeseen circumstances, I don't know if he'll be able to join or not, but I want him to talk about his wildcard team. I want to talk about my team. I'm going to be selfish tonight. I'll happily bring up his team. At the end of the day, we're both in the same boat. Now, this stream, I'm praying that the internet doesn't go down, and so far, everything's fine. I don't want to jinx anything. But I'm just looking at my team, and I'm thinking, do I need to wildcard? Well, the answer is no. I'm in a really peculiar position at the moment. I've got 1.3 in the bank. Players to get rid of: Ashley Barnes, Ceballos. 2 instant players, completely useless. So if I was just to... let's just get rid of Sterling as a simple example. Now, I'm fully aware, again, this isn't a mini wildcard show. But if we were to just quickly look over that as an example, because at the moment, like I said, we're talking... We are talking today's games, but we're looking over the weekend with this Elite FPL Sunday surgery. And my team needs surgery. Jason's team... speaking privately with him briefly, he knows that he's messed up. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he feels he is messed up and he is dejected. Me personally, I think that having Aguero and Pookie is almost a must. I then got 13.5 to play with, and I'm thinking of changing my tactics around, but again, I could downgrade Salah to Mane. I mean, there was a thread on Twitter that I read. It was from the FPL General. Now, admittedly, it was at FPL Hindsight that brought up this specific tweet itself, and he was the one that copied and pasted it. But simply put, there was a quote within the thread from FPL General, and he simply said this: that after last year's disastrous season that he had, he decided that he's trying to come away from Twitter, various forum sites, various advice tip video shows, and whatever form of FPL content there is out there. Now, I stress this point a billion times, and I'm going to go into something FPL Hindsight replied to me in a minute, but I'm so happy that we are not a tip site. I'm so happy that this particular podcast is dedicated to 2 guys that have built up a podcast from basically a Facebook group to where now we're broadcasting to 70 people. We've now got a very high subscriber base. We are growing and growing. We've now built a community which is so big that it's taken on a new world of its own. It's amazing. We've now got people in chat moderating everything. We've got people in the Discord moderating it. And again, thank you is all I can say. We have a Discord now where we're taking live callers. And the callers that we get are absolutely phenomenal. The last 2 shows that we did regarding Jason's wildcard and the preview show, the callers we had on were sublime. And when I listened to our own show back, I have to say I'm legitimately blown away by the quality of the show. I think that what you guys bring to the table is extraordinary, and I'm glad that you guys are part of this narrative. It's Gameweek 5, and this narrative is right for me and Jason, right at the bottom, the 2 guys that host the show. Now, don't get me wrong, that all the credit to everything that what what you guys get to see is all down to Jason. The website, the Discord, the podcast itself, what you're seeing on screen now is all down to Jason. I always say this. I'm just the guy that just sits in front of the microphone and chats. I was about to swear then. I just chat and chat and chat. And you guys just sit in the chat room itself, if it's working. You just comment along. You enjoy each other's company. And going back to what FPL Hindsight replied to me, he just said, well, isn't it a bit... I can't remember specifically what he said, and I don't want to misquote him, so I'm going to specifically bring up the exact reply he sent to me. And he said, being part of a podcast surely makes you more prone to overconsumption of information. I just said, yeah, exactly. It really is. But the difference is that I don't have to well, how can I say this? I'm not telling you what to do. Nor does Jason. Nor does you as the caller. We just come on air. We talk about what we're going to do. Me and Jason will say, that's a good idea, that's a bad idea. We give you our own opinion. But as I joked yesterday, if someone came on the stream right now and said, next week I'm going to triple captain Kyle Walker, I'm going to say, I wouldn't bother doing it, but it's your thought process. You carry on, mate. You do whatever you like. I couldn't care less. But I'm advising you to not do it. And the issue for me is that because we're not a tip site, it's kind of like, right, if anybody comes on air or if anybody in chat decides to criticise my team, I can just tell you my opinion about why I do what I'm doing. And it's the same for Jason as well. And that's what created such wonderful content the other day. When, I don't want to keep harping on about it, but it was just wonderful when Andy Salt, a regular contributor to the show, Andy and Jason were just going at it, toing and froing, about why Jason wildcard and Andy was just not happy with him. A wonderful discussion. And now I'm here, chatting to you on the Sunday Surgery about my team that I'm happy with, but I'm in a dilemma because I've got 1.3 in the bank and I don't know what to do. Because I know for a fact that if I was to get rid of Sterling for Agero, Sterling's going to flame and smash 3 goals against Watford and Aguero's going to do nothing. If I got rid of Salah will go and destroy Chelsea while Mane just goes and gets 2 points. Ceballos. Now admittedly Iwobi did nothing today, but Ceballos did nothing better. In fact, I'm assuming, and we'll find out in a minute on Jason's team, I'm assuming Iwobi got 2 points, whereas Ceballos got 1. Already proven that Iwobi's better. No, but joking aside, I genuinely look at my team. I honestly don't know what to do. And this is the point about what the FPL General's going on about, is that if I was to ask you guys, I'm going to be double guessing myself. If I was to go with my own opinion and everything, it would mean that, Christ, if I go and listen to various other podcasts, or if I look into the chat and see what people are thinking, if I go into the Discord and see what people are thinking, I'm then going to second guess myself and all that malarkey. Yesterday, as an example, I've already said this, but yesterday was a prime example of second guessing myself. And my thought process was this at about 10:30 yesterday morning. And I thought, I have a feeling that Ashley Barnes is, number one, he may be benched today because of his slight groin injury. And I think Jay Rodriguez may get a chance. And I think that would be a wise decision. And then I thought, Steve-O, and then of course play Pookie instead of Ashley Barnes. And then I thought, no, just stick with your gut. Your gut said to start a 4-5-1 and play Ashley Barnes. Your gut said to go with Gilbert because you'd like to have the Monday night footballer playing. Well, you all saw what happened. Pookie gets a goal and assist, and I'm going to say this now. I actually genuinely think Pookie is a must-have. I think he's essential, and I think that I'm going to keep him in my team for the whole of the season unless he breaks his leg. I do not wish that upon him, But I am not getting rid of Pookie. Now, people like Jason, as he mentioned last night on his wonderful stream that he did last night, and I will say to him now, I was so happy that he did one last night. And this is what we do for you guys. We don't do it for ourselves. We do it for you. We've got a man dejected about what happened last night in the Man City game, and he takes your calls, and all you guys came on banging on about how well you did. He could have just laid in bed, continued as he stated, watching a film, doing anything but talking fantasy football, but he didn't. We do this for you guys. And yeah, well, I'll say this. If you want to come live on air, as I've already mentioned, now there is a new feature on Discord, so if you want to come live on air, please by all means get into the waiting room on Discord. The link is in the description, but I'm sure, in fact, you know what, I'm not going to patronise any of you lot. You're part of the Discord, get in the waiting room if you want to come live on air. But I will make this clear. Jason has done something absolutely wonderful here, where he has now created something where it's a lot more easier to access the teams that you put up. So I'll show you on screen now, and then you guys can post your teams. So where myself and Jason need you guys to post your teams now is here. So on the left hand side you will see above the waiting room, team screenshots. Now I'm already in that menu right now. So team screenshots, that is dedicated to you guys coming live on air. So we've already got in the waiting room FPL Little Saints and GW5. If those two want to put their teams up into the team screenshot, and there we are, you've seen it live there. That is only there specifically for podcast, rate my teams, whatever, only, okay? Please do not post anything in there unless you are coming onto the podcast, and it is only for teams that you want to show us, basically. And as you can see there, FPL Little Saints has done exactly that, and we will get FPL Little Saints on in 2 minutes' time. Yeah, so I don't know how long tonight's stream is going to go on for. I have started it at 7 o'clock. I'm hoping, like I said, the internet issues will be okay. I appreciate Jason speaking on my behalf last night regarding my internet issues, and to let everybody know, I know this is a bit of a boring bit, but I have to let you know, the Wi-Fi is out of my hands. The router is in a bedroom which is basically is not accessible. Now the good news is that, as you know, Jason keeps stating that the money that we receive goes directly back into the podcast. Well, I can let you guys know exclusively, as ridiculous as that sounds, but what I've decided to do is I'm speaking to the head tenant, landlord, whatever, and I am going to make it my mission to put a new router somewhere within the house, which is going to make the internet a lot better. As Jason stated last night, there's nothing wrong with my Wi-Fi. It's just the fact that there are 2 other people in the house, or in fact 3 people sometimes in the house that obviously use the Wi-Fi. People that are tech experts will appreciate the fact that I'm assuming there's a lot of crossover and everything. And when you're doing a live stream where you've got multiple websites, multiple things going on here, it probably takes a lot out of the Wi-Fi. And quite a funny moment from last night, interestingly. It's not really that interesting, but as you would have been aware, the stream that I had to take over from Jason because he had to finish, and when we were doing the Norwich Man City game, the stream just cuts off like that. Well, I knew that there was internet issues, but I then started speaking for about 10 minutes on my own without even realising that the stream had gone off on air. But this is what I'm going to do now. I am going to go and take some calls, and I'm going to bring on FPL Little Saints first. But before I do that, I know it's been about half an hour. In fact, I know for a fact it's been half an hour and everything. But I'm going to say hello to a few people. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to no, I'm not going to be disrespectful. Yeah, I am. I'm going to be disrespectful. I think that you're all here. You're all live. I just want to say hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody, and thank you for joining me on this for this Elite FPL Sunday surgery episode. and we are going to get live on air FPL Little Saints. His name is Jason as well. He's all the way in Greece, and we are going to bring him live on air in just a couple of seconds now. So, FPL Little Saints, you are live on the Elite FPL Call, my friend. Good evening.
Evening, Steve-O.
Right then, my friend.
Long time no speak, my friend.
Absolutely, and well, I mean, what were you thinking today when Aubameyang got 2?
I was, well, obviously happy. Basically saved my game week, shall I say. Yeah, I was screaming up and down, jumping up and down, as everyone would do. But I'm just in the same boat as you. It's like, I like my team, but something's going wrong. It's been all downhill since game week 2. So, yeah.
Now, for everybody listening on audio, we've got Nick Pope in goals, Zinchenko, Lundstrom, Digne, McGinn playing tomorrow. Then we've got Mane, De Bruyne, Ceballos, Sterling, Pukki and Aubameyang. Straight away, I'm going to ask you the question of, and I apologise that you've probably answered this question about 50 billion times. And I've actually got, before we end this conversation, I do want to ask you a serious question. So could you please remind me about that if I forget? But going back to more lighter topics, no Salah but Mane. What's the decision behind that, other than the fact that Mane is bringing in the points?
Just the wild card I had to do game week 2.
So is this team's a wild card team from game week 2? Yeah.
Well, I had 2 free transfers and I've done a mini wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the free menu players in, such trolls. I had Wan-Bissaka, Martial and Rashford, and I took them out, brought in Aubameyang, brought in McGinn, and on my bench I've got I brought in Lowton. Right,
okay. Good, I've got to say, I think they are very, very good moves, and that's not even with hindsight. They are excellent moves.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You're cutting up a bit, Steve-O.
I was just saying that I think those 3 transfers are excellent moves, and that's without even having hindsight. I think they're brilliant.
Yeah. Actually, I had a bit of help. See, after game week 4, I knew these 3 players were going to leave my team. And I was just saying, my team starts with Aubameyang. So I've been contemplating for the past 2 weeks who to bring in other than Aubameyang. And I was all the way up to about 10 minutes before deadline. I was in the Discord with, obviously, as we do Saturday morning. And I had quite a bit of help, to be honest. And at the end, after all our strategy together, who to bring in, who not to, I kept going back to, obviously, Aubameyang, because I played around with getting Vardy instead of Aubameyang, but I kept repeating myself and saying Aubameyang. So they said, well, Aubameyang's a must. He's locked in, and I was basically out of the 2 who I wanted to bring in. So obviously with Burnley's good run of fixtures, I thought get a defender in. They're the only one who actually I liked bringing in. And then I needed someone in the middle. I didn't fancy Cantwell because obviously the game with City. So I brought in McGinn. And to have, like you said, a player playing on the Monday night.
And we all know what's going to happen on Monday night. West Ham are going to win 2-0. You just know it. I like I say, this specific game week for me personally is just, I don't know what to talk about. I just don't know what to say about it. I'm just glad that I can talk about other people's teams, to be honest with you. So at the moment you're on 49 points right now, -4, obviously that's 45 points. I mean, genuinely speaking, how happy are you with this specific game week?
Well, up to before the Arsenal game, I was really, really upset because, as you know, I don't know about the people listening. I'm not in the cash mini league, but I've got my own private mini league with my friends, and I'm still top of the league there. But everyone was jumping up, like really catching me up since game week 2, and basically, like I said, the Birmingham really like saved me. Let's say. So I'm okay with it. See, if I had my wild card now, I know what I would do.
Would you like to just tell the audience?
Well, for sure, I'll be getting Son in for sure.
Yeah.
Sterling, like I wrote in the chat as well, I'm really fed up with him. He's just he's another troll, to be honest. And the thing is like
I don't know about him being a troll. He's not the Hazard troll type, but I know how you feel. I mean, if you want to elaborate on what you mean, how you feel about him being a troll, but I disagree, but it doesn't matter. Your opinion. Could you elaborate on what you mean?
yeah, it's just that you know, I've had him captain for the past two weeks, obviously blanked, and to be honest, what my gut was saying is that if you're going to bring Aubameyang, you should captain him. But then, like everyone, I would say like 80% of people who captain the City player this week, you know, best attack against worst defense, and with like 8 players for Norwich like not be able to play, we were all thinking a landslide. So for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. So, and well, obviously we all know now it's backfired, but it's like I read in the chat before, with Sterling, the difference between Sterling and Agüero, with Agüero, you're more comfortable captaining him. As with Sterling, you're kind of like praying, in a sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah, no, I fully understand what you mean.
It's like Salah and Agüero. If you put the captain armband on them, you're calm. You're not panicking.
Do you think the reason for that is because this is just my thought process, is that they're just central to everything, a bit like Aubameyang and Pukki for their respective teams. Basically, everything goes through them.
I'm sorry, Steele, you're cutting up, mate.
Sorry, yeah, I was just saying that. Do you think that the reasoning we're thinking like this is because everything is central to Agüero, a bit like with Salah as well, and everything goes through also Pukki and Aubameyang for their respective teams?
Well, kind of, but then again, if you in the City team, if you say that Agüero, De Bruyne, and Sterling, they're the 3 clogs, let's say, that make that machine run, as in goals and assists. All right, Bernardo Silva will get assists there, here, there, and every like whenever. But you know, when a Man City playing and they get a goal, you know one of these 3 have got a hand in it. It's just like with Spurs, and you know, like Kane's got a hand in it, although he only got an assist against those 4 goals he at Tottenham scored. But like I said, but you know Agüero, you know Salah, they know you're not scared to put the armband. You can just put them on, relax, lean back on your chair, your sofa, and watch the game, and let's say enjoy it. But with Sterling, you're kind of stressing with it. The same goes with Kane the last 6 months or so. Same with Aubameyang even. Apart if he's playing at home. But anyway, you get what I mean. It's I just don't know. I just like kind of fed up with it, more or less. And I know with this team, if I get rid of Sterling, I know for sure the following week he'll get like a hat trick again or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you the question briefly. I know I put it out on Twitter, and it was a 64% in favour of Sterling. But do you think that what would be the better pairing, Sterling with De Bruyne or Agüero with De Bruyne?
The short answer would be Agüero.
Yeah.
The only thing for me would be the minutes. But then again, with Agüero, even 60 minutes he'll play, you know he's going to get a goal or assist. As in Sterling, he will actually need the 90 minutes for you to actually pray for him to actually happen, something to happen.
Yeah.
But with Agüero, even if he plays 60 minutes, if he plays 60 minutes or 65 minutes, he's going to get something.
Now, moving on to the Arsenal game today. Did you watch it?
I did. Oh my God, I did.
Please tell the audience how Arsenal played. I mean, from a fantasy football perspective as well, do you think Aubameyang is, essential as well?
With this great, with the games that we've got now, that this whole field of green up to game week 16, apart from Man United, I think, especially with Lacazette out until mid-October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So he'll be the focal point. Everything will be going through Aubameyang. The only thing that Pepe might do something, but he needs a goal first. You can see he's ticking all the right boxes. He just needs a goal. Apart from that, Arsenal apart from Aubameyang, there's no one in the Arsenal team that you have to have. That let me start from the defense. Oh my God! If you see the goals that we conceded today, oh my days! It's like schoolboy. I won't even say National League. I will say proper schoolboy defending. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah. So before we let you go, I wanted to ask you kind of like a serious question, really. So,
dun dun dun.
It's nothing bad, but a few weeks ago you had a very serious issue with the Fantasy Premier League app, and could you elaborate to our audience what specifically happened and what the overall outcome was? The reason why I'm asking this is because I want people to realise that please do not use the Fantasy Football app, and you are a testament as to why people shouldn't use it.
Okay, so let me explain what happened in the first place. I got the insight that because I never used the app, I was always obviously from the site. So I got informed that the app do as many transfers as you want, and it wouldn't first of all deduct points, and you will still have your transfers. So when it came to game week 2, I had game week 2 finished obviously, and this is when I found out, and I downloaded I got showed proof as well of this, so it wasn't just out of the blue, just someone just told me, oh, whatever. He actually showed me screenshots, this person. So I downloaded the app. I had 2 free transfers, so I made 3 transfers. So to confirm it. So I confirmed it, and I checked it on the app. Still had my 2 free transfers and no point deduction. Okay, so I took a screenshot of it, and then I wasn't going to cheat or anything, so I reverted back to those 3 players which I had. So if we calculate all that together, that's a minus 16. So basically, I took a minus 16 to have the same team as I finished with game week 2. So then I went back onto I emailed FPL Towers telling them what happened, blah blah blah. Going back onto the site now I can see I've actually got a minus 16. So this is me now emailing back and forth to FPL Towers, and the decision they made is that by the letter of the rules, that I should have known better, and any additional transfers are a minus. I'll take it as a -4 each transfer. So although they are sorry for the bug in the app, I should have known better, and they wasn't going to revoke the transfers or the minus 16. So I had to hit the wild card. So my minus 16 will be wiped out, and basically I was made to have an enforced wild card. And since then, it's been all downhill. Because when I finished game week 2, I was in the top 70k. And before this game week, I was just outside the 300k. So it's been all downhill since then.
Blimey. I mean, taking that anecdote aside, and let's be honest here, the way you were treated is just... I mean, I'm sure you weren't the only one. I'm sure there are probably thousands of people that complained about this particular issue. But going on what you've just said, dropping from 70,000 to 300,000 as you are now, is there one specific thing that you put that down to? Is it just failed captaincy, like with me?
To be honest, well, exactly. I was happy with my team, obviously, because I had 2 really good game weeks. I was in the top 70k, and because I was enforced to do this wildcard, I'm thinking, okay, so it's enforced wildcard. I've got the luxury, let's say, to change players around since I've pushed the wildcard button. Let's see what will happen. Let's see who we get in or whatever. And basically, that's it. It's just been downhill since then.
Yeah. And on that sour note, all I can say is, Little Saints, thank you so much for joining us. And have you got any final words before we let you go and move on to the next caller?
Yeah. Well, actually, I wanted to ask you specifically, as obviously I'm talking to you, as this is called the Sunday surgery call-in. What would you change from this team?
Nothing. Because I'm sat... Well, in all seriousness, I'm sat here... And
do you want me to tell you who's on my bench, by the way? I haven't told you who's on my bench.
Go on, just...
Yeah, it's basically Fodders, let's say. It's obviously the Button in goal. I've got Lowton as my fifth defender with Kelly, who obviously is not going to be playing no more. And my third striker is Martinelli from Arsenal. So,
oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean, so yeah, this is your pretty much, apart from Loughton, this is your 11 and only. Yeah. I mean, looking at this team now, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just Ceballos, and I'm sick to death of him. In fact, I know I wanted to let you go, but just quickly, your thoughts on Ceballos? Is he really the assister of the assister to the assister?
Yes and no. Like today, I think Emery's mistake today was taking him off.
Brilliant.
And not only did he take him off, he took him off like 30 seconds before the 60th minute, so I lost a point from there. But I like Ceballos. I like what I see with him. He's technical. He sees a pass. Don't forget, Ozil was playing today as well.
Right. Okay.
So I like what I see with him, but again, he's no De Bruyne. Let me put it to you that way. He's not that assister who's going to get like 10 assists, 15 assists, or whatever. But what do you expect at that price point anyway?
Exactly. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Jason, Little Saints. How do you want to be called? Jason or Little Saints? I suppose Little Saints, I suppose.
I'm fine with whatever flows off your tongue easier, mate.
Little Saints. It's a lot easier. It's less confusing because we've got a special guest coming on. So, Little Saints, thank you for joining us.
It was my pleasure, mate. Have a good night.
You too, dude. There we are. FPL Little Saints joining us live from Greece. And I just mentioned a special guest. And yes, you know who it's going to be. And I'm going to deliberately bring up this young man's team. It's our co-host, and I was going to say friend of the show, but it's the co-host of the Elite FPL podcast, the creator of all things good, apart from his wildcard team. But it is, of course, Jason. Let's bring Jason on live on air. Jason, you're live, mate.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you for the first time ever. You're not muted. The volume's loud. Your team's up on screen. Jason, just take it away, my friend.
Today has been a continuation for me of just despair. Like, the biggest irony of it all was I better get enough money saved up in my wild card to afford Digne, because God forbid I can't go without Digne. And I tell you now, this has been I felt like this weekend has been a punishment to me. It's because if there's any game out there that has got a way of kicking you in the gonads, like when you're really feeling happy and confident, like FPL can take the wind out of your sails in an instant. And it started bad, it remained bad, and it hasn't got any better. Only 2 of my players actually did anything. That was Salah and Agüero. The only saving grace was that I captained Agüero. And if I hadn't done that, say I'd have gone with Sterling last minute, I would have been, I mean, it's already an absolute disaster. I don't think I could ever say that this wild card has gone anywhere near how I wanted it to go. And fortunately, next week, the City players that I've got in have got a chance to kind of redeem themselves against Watford, who I feel that they can, bounce back after that loss to Norwich. I'm absolutely kicking myself that I got rid of Timo Pukki. I'm like, and do you know what the irony is because I'm not blaming it on anyone else other than myself. It was myself. But the whole rhetoric that I had to have money in defence, and like I was taking Digne out, bringing in Coleman. I was playing around with ways like taking money out of my defence, downgraded Soyuncu to Rico, believe it or not, just so I could find a way keep not taking out Pukki out of my wildcard draft. But it just the whole wildcard draft was obviously it just went from bad to worse, really. I mean, Tammy Abraham getting the hat trick, as we know. And it's just, Rashford getting the penalty. I mean, I know I transferred out Rashford anyway, so can't really count that. But yeah, it just felt like it was Agüero or bust for me this week. And with the City blank, no one else on my team did anything, and I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted because I was so excited for Gameweek 5. Now I can't wait for it to be over. Thank God it's a Friday deadline next week that I can just get to game week 6, not spend any points, because God, I can't afford to spend any points. I'm stuck with this team now. I knew very well that I would be stuck with this team. I'm committed. People were warning me and I didn't listen to them. It's not too late for it to redeem itself. Like, literally, it's been 1 week. It's been a disaster week. 36 points on a wild card.
Jason,
it's an absolute disaster.
Sorry to interject. You have been donated 55 knock from Grill86. He says, "Unlucky Jason, add a pint on me, mate." So thank you, Knock, for that very kind donation. And there you have it, mate. Go get a pint of... you usually drink Coke, don't you? I mean, in all seriousness, what are you thinking of doing? I mean...
Like, do you know what I'm thinking? Like, literally today, I'm so angry with myself. I am so angry at myself. Because I had like what people were telling me, a good team. I didn't need to wildcard. I wildcarded with my gut because I thought City were going to go absolutely mental against Norwich, and I've been proven to be a fool almost by wildcarding away from this team. I mean, having Pukki in from the beginning, pretty much for his hat trick at 6.5. Having him in at 6.5, his price went up to 7. If I was to get him in now, it's just, I don't know. I'm quite of a stubborn person. I don't know why, but like I just think, right, I'm not getting Pukki back in my team, even though I know my subliminal conscious knows that he's just going to bang many goals in now for like Burnley away, Crystal Palace away, Aston Villa at home, for only 2 clean sheets this week. There's so many disappointments in defence, and who would have thought? That it would be Manchester United with a clean sheet, and who was the other team? Spurs. Sorry, there's more than 2 clean sheets. 3 clean sheets. As well. Yeah, Southampton. Yeah. So 3 clean sheets and teams where you wouldn't. I wouldn't have expected to keep them. And yeah, I'm just I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. I was walking around today with a family. I was in a place called Stourport-on-Severn, in a family place with there was like amusements park there. It was like a riverboat, and I was just really like miserable and dejected. And sometimes FPL can really kind of have a bit of a negative effect on your mindset. And I'm just like looking at my team. I'm thinking, what have I done? What have I done to my team? And literally, but then the thing is, it's like I don't know what's going on. If you've got a curse or something, Steve-O, because like the first thing I did was like, oh my god, I'm having such a bad game week. Like it just seems like this week for both of us, it's just been dreadful. And then we've had people coming on with like, but the only big thing is obviously I've used my wild card, but you have still got that in your pocket. But people come on with monster scores. Like I've had 60, 70 pointers coming on, and I'm like, dude, you've like doubled my points.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are. I mean, to make you feel better, there are people that are in genuinely worse situations than you and I. I mean, I've got, just to let you be aware that on the screen at the moment we have got your previous team from last week, and just to let people make you aware that Jason originally had Tammy Abraham and Trent Alexander in for Wan-Bissaka and Rashford for a -4. So it would have been Abraham and Pookie up front this particular game week. I mean... I would have captained Sterling.
Yes, I would have captained Sterling. But I mean, it's still going to be what I would say probably about 10 points lost from last game weeks. I think I haven't done the maths exactly. I think it's going to be around there. And obviously, it's just a bit of disappointment.
When you think about your particular game week. This week, and obviously the fact you've used a wild card, off the top of your head, what do you feel the biggest mistake has been that you've done?
Biggest mistake that I've done? What?
As in which players you brought in? Do you just regret the fact that you've gone with basically a 4-5-1 formation, or the specific players that you brought in? I mean,
taking a punt on Iwobi, really.
But he got more points than Ceballos.
Well, yeah, ironically. I mean, I just think that I think I still would have wanted Agero in my team, okay? And I was listening to the stream earlier on, and I think out of the two, Sterling and Agüero, right now, I would quite happily get rid of Sterling at the moment. I know it sounds crazy because at the beginning of the season, no one looked past Sterling, but it's just... Yeah, since he's tweeted out, I think someone in chat said it. Since he tweeted out saying, can't get a hat-trick every game, guys, to his FPL followers on Twitter, he hasn't really done anything. And I don't know. I think Agüero, you've said it right. I don't know. There was so much like people just disregarding Agüero. Too old, people were saying. Yeah, he's going to get rotated, people were saying. I mean... Okay, he played 21 minutes he obviously got eased into the season, but since then he's played 65 minutes. He's played 90 minutes. Okay, Jesus has been obviously injured, but I just think people are a little bit narrow-minded to think that Agüero is suddenly not a great pick, and I think it was just purely because of the extra points that midfielders get and goals. I think that's one of the main reasons people were talking about Sterling, and I've always been a fan of Agüero, and I'm the one happy thing I can take away from this is that I've got Agüero in my team for next week, and I will be captaining him again, so it all can be saved next week. I'm hoping.
I've got Aubameyang up on screen at the moment, and you have said that your next transfer is probably going to be Aubameyang after next game week. I mean. Are you tempted of getting rid of Agüero for Aubameyang? I mean,
no, I'm tempted. I'm tempted. I am honestly tempted. I've been playing. I do like the look of Aubameyang. I really do, and I really want him in. But I'm tempted to get rid of Sterling to fund Aubameyang.
Yeah, I've already made this point. Yeah, I mean, your thoughts on the Twitter poll I put out earlier regarding who's the better option to partner De Bruyne with? Is it Sterling or Aguero? Now you're obviously in the position of having both, but if you were to choose one of the two, who would it be? I suppose Aguero.
I for the moment, yeah. He's just a monster. He will get goals, he will get chances, and Sterling's an amazing player. Don't get me wrong, but I've always rated Aguero higher than Sterling, and I kind of went with the crowd with the Sterling pick, to be fair. And now I'm looking at possibly just getting rid of Sterling, bringing in Aubameyang. I don't know. My team, like, people are going to be like, "What, are you taking these hits? Taking a hit after you wildcarded?" I mean, I don't even want to face Anthony Salter's wrath. I mean, on this, you talk about Sunday surgery. I need a Sunday field hospital right now. Literally, it's absolutely diabolical. I could bring Cantwell in. I mean, I'm just thinking now. I could bring Cantwell in for Sterling, and then Aubameyang in for a non-playing Xande Silva, for example. So a massive upgrade, in my opinion, to my team. I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted to do those transfers right now. And literally, I don't give a crap about the -4. Adrian's going to play next game against Chelsea. Probably going to let him 4 goals, but I don't care. I just want Aguero. I want Aguero in and up top with him. I want Aubameyang. So, what do you guys think in chat? Mate, I'm going to leave it. I'm leaving it. I'm not doing it yet, of course. But yeah, maybe it's just an emotional knee-jerk transfer. What do you guys think?
I mean, what are your thoughts on my dilemma of not actually knowing to do with my team? I mean, at the moment I've got the transfer page up. I'm just messing about with bringing in certain players and everything. I'm agreeing with what a lot of people are saying, that just defences are an absolute waste of space, and it doesn't matter who you seem to have. The clean sheets are just a lottery at the moment. Maybe having, as you've got, a really weak defence and just bolstering up your midfield and strike force. I mean, at the moment on screen now, I've got Aguero, Aubameyang and Pukki. At least they're consistent with their points. But it would mean, obviously, getting rid of Salah, Sterling, obviously Ceballos and everything. And I honestly don't know what to do, Jason. I don't know whether to hit the wild card, if I just play it safe and just do my 2 free transfers, just do one transfer, Barnes to Abraham. I don't know, mate. I honestly don't know.
I think it's such a diverse opinion as well. I mean, there's so many people saying to go for different players, and it's a great thing. It's really good. You've got this dilemma right now because the whole template, in my mind, the template's kind of been smashed open this game week, and we're going to see wildcards activated. We're going to see people transferring in the likes of Abraham. God knows what Haller's going to do tomorrow. I mean, my rank is already taking a dive bomb. Like I'm literally I'm going to be dropping like 200,000 places, like in a weekend on the wildcard. Literally, I'm resigning to the fact. But I mean, people saying that I shouldn't be impulsive. I shouldn't be reacting to last game week's points. The plan was no. The plan was always to get in Aubameyang. But like Steve-O says, who's the player you want to have in for Man City at the moment up front? If you had to choose between Sterling and Aguero, it would be Aguero. And I'm not going to make rash transfers, but I've got De Bruyne, Sterling, and Aguero in my team. But I just feel that. Yeah, could have done better.
I'm looking at my team now on screen. It is, I've got, like I said, a front 3 of Aubameyang, Aguero, Pukki, and then in my midfield, Son, De Bruyne, Mason Mount, and I've still got 7.9 to play with. Now, don't get me wrong, my defence is just Digne, Soyuncu, Lundstrom, and Lascelles.
Oh, mate, no, don't do that.
I'm not doing it, but it's crazy. I mean, there's a 4.5 midfielder out there. I mean, I'm thinking just instantly Dendoncker. I mean, he's done absolutely nothing. He's so highly owned that I'm worried about maybe losing money on him. Honestly, I don't know what to do. I mean, like I said, if I put in Dendoncker now and I was to go with a 3-4-3 formation, I've got 8.7 to spend on a midfielder. 8.7. And I could, in theory, get rid of Pookie, which I'm not going to, but I could, in theory, get rid of Pookie and upgrade. I don't know. I've got 15.6 in the bank. Yeah, I just don't know I genuinely don't know what to do. I've got, like I said, I've got 2 free transfers, everybody. I'm going to try and do some form of mini wildcard special at some point next week, potentially. And yeah, it's really difficult. Are you free to stick around a bit, Jason, or
say again?
Are you free to stick around for a bit and take a caller?
I can, maybe for one. I can't be too long though.
No, that's fine. We'll bring on GWiz. We'll quickly bring on GWiz. GWiz, you're live on the Elite FPL Sunday Surgery, my friend.
Say again. Cheers, bruv. Let me just mute you. There we go. How's it going?
Well, you've heard what Jason's had to say. He's absolutely distraught. You're in a worse position than me, GWiz. I know that for a fact because you're below me in the Cash Mini League. More importantly, how are you? I'll bring up your team right now. So how are you so far?
I didn't come on this program to discuss my team, to be honest. But yeah, well, we'll do that. We'll do that. Yeah.
No. You talk about whatever you like, my friend. You can talk about whatever you like.
Put the team up. Go on. I'll show you my plan.
You're literally below me by 1 point.
Oh, am I? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
And I wonder if you are going to go ahead of me. Who did you have? For pity's sake. Yeah, who did you have playing today, Wiz?
Say again, who did I have?
Who did you have playing today?
Playing today, Dina, thank you. Yeah.
So we've got the same team basically, right? So it's basically your Allaire versus my Gilbert.
Well, it's my Lanzini and Haller versus your Gilbert.
Right, okay. Confident ahead of tomorrow's game?
Yeah, pipe down, son. Yeah, very confident.
What did you predict for this game?
I think I went 2-1 West Ham.
Right, okay, so you're expecting goals galore. Now, you are one of those people that had Cantwell and Pookie on the bench. I mean, please talk us through how you're feeling.
Sorry, I got to talk us through how I'm feeling.
Yeah, about Cantwell and Pookie being on your bench.
Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah. Top job, that.
I mean, in all seriousness, what were I'm stating the blinking obvious. What were the reasonings as to why you benched them both?
I'll tell you why I'm slightly miffed is because I'm listening to all these Man City Norwich predictions of 18-0 and Jason with his 8-0 and I'm like, Norwich are nowhere near that kind of a pushover team. I can't see it. So I'm thinking if they're going to score, Pookie's going to score. So then I'll do me clean sheet odds, blah, blah, blah. Look at all of that. Wow.
Yeah. And
Man City are way up there.
Yeah. And of course,
I'll tell you what, we played Pookie ahead of, because that was the ideal plan, was to play Pookie ahead of Lundstrom. And then I thought, to be honest, I don't rate Southampton, and I fancied Lundstrom to have more of a chance of getting a clean sheet than Pookie scoring a goal. So, yeah, that worked out pretty well for me, I've got to admit, yeah. Not.
I mean...
But, go on.
I gave my reasoning as to why I played Gilbert. It's because I wanted a Monday night footballer. But can you explain why you played 4 defenders this particular game week rather than playing, for example, Pookie?
Because in my mind, even though I think Norwich have got a slight sneaky chance of doing something, at the same time, that's my heart talking to me there. At the same time, my head is saying Lundstrom has got more of a chance of a return and a clean sheet than Pookie has of scoring against Man City. So, yeah, it worked out well, didn't it, Steve-O, mate?
I just want to say I'm really sorry for the 8-0 prediction.
No, I'm grateful for it because it makes me think. Now I know that's not going to happen. I know Norwich are, and plus they're playing at home. Now before this game week started, I asked myself every week which team has the easiest fixture, and I just say to myself, whichever team has the easiest fixture, I'm going to captain them. So in my head, I had from the start of the week it flipping between Sterling and De Bruyne, because in my head, Man City have got the easiest fixture. I then go and look at this tool I use to sort of tell me which has got the easiest fixture, and it tells me it isn't Man City Norwich or Norwich Man City. It's Liverpool against Newcastle. I've only got Salah and Van Dijk, and I'm not captaining Van Dijk, so that was my captain sorted. Job done.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Can I quickly just say that I've posted a team in the team screenshots. I know that this is going to blow the minds of our viewers right now. I've posted a team that I'm absolutely tempted to just press the button on. Like right now. Like it's knee jerk United, we'll call it. But that team there, I'm tempted to just
let me have a look.
Well, hold on a minute. What would that be? A minus 12, 14? Sorry, 16? What?
Yeah, minus 16.
So, in all
minus
seriousness,
16.
Who would the transfer specifically be, Jason?
Right, Soyuncu, Salah, Sterling, Greenwood, Alexander Silva out for Rico, Mane, Lansbury, Pookie, and Aubameyang.
I mean,
like this is when I could deal with a wild card. Ironic. No, it's just knee jerk. It's just proper knee jerk. This is what happens to your mentality when you play FPL, and you just think I've made a mistake. I need to sort it out, and I'm going to start spending some points. But that's literally this is what I did last season. I did a minus 16 last season, and I gained massive on it. I think I gained like 20 points on my minus 16 last season. But anyway, I think you guys all think I'm mad. Don't worry, guys. I haven't drank any pints of Coke just yet, but I might need something a bit stronger in a minute.
No, the attacking side of that team does look dope. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm going to throw my 2 cents here and say that I know you're the guy. You obviously do the clean sheet odds for the Fantasy Football Scout site, and this season has been, let's be honest here, atrocious for clean sheets, and surely it may be a wise idea to actually put your money into attack rather than defence.
I'm just working by the law of averages that it can't be this bad for the rest of the season, which obviously it will be now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, Jason. I'm in that situation where I could, in theory, hit the wild card, but I just don't need to. I don't need to do it. It's normally when I hit the wild card, it's because I'm in a desperate situation where I haven't got the players performing. But in my circumstances now, is that my team is actually got players that perform. It's just I'm not hitting the right captaincy picks. I should listen to the history.
So, do you remember? Go on, Joe.
No. I'm interested in what you say. Sorry.
Do you remember what you said to Jason when he said to you that he was wildcard?
No, I don't remember 10 minutes ago, to be honest with you.
This is what you said. Why? Why are you wildcard? There's nothing wrong with that. That's exactly the word you used.
Yeah.
I think you should take... And one thing I must say about your team comes into play is Villaronca is a very patient player. And if you look at the players that return this week, your King, your Wilson, your Dillaflo, your Fraser, all them game week 1 players that some people would have stuck with because they're patient. I'm just saying.
It would be
One thing I wanted to ask you though, Steve-O, was if there was, with your team as it stands right now, if there was one midfielder that you wanted to bring in above anyone else, who would it be?
Mane.
Instead of, have you got Salah?
I've got Salah. Yeah. Oh, you mean what? To bring into my team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would bring in Mane for Ceballos. If I had unlimited funds, I would get rid of Ceballos and bring in Mane. But again, that's possible. That could be potentially possible that I could do. I was even thinking of bringing in Firmino, getting in Firmino and getting rid of Ceballos and someone else for a -4. It's tough. It is bloody tough, and as we know at the moment, I believe Firmino's actually pretty much having one of the best seasons of his life. I mean, you'll be able to tell me more about that, wouldn't you, G-Wiz? That Firmino's doing really, really well this season. Underlining statistics.
All right, I'll have a quick look. He's doing all right. I'm not going to lie to you, but for me, whenever I've had him in the past, he just plays too deep for me. Don't get me wrong, he's not like as Kane, but he's more like, I'll go and get the ball and feed it to Mane or Salah, rather than Salah or Mane getting the ball and being the focus of getting the ball to Firmino. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. And like I said
that doesn't stop him from getting FPL points.
Yeah, it's like I said to FPL Little Saints. At the end of the day, Salah, even Mane, you could argue, is actual central to what Liverpool do attacking wise. It all goes through them too.
Yeah.
Gee whiz, like we've got a lot of callers on. I'm going to do a Jason here, and I'm just going to simply say, have you got any final words so we can get through all these callers, basically?
No. You just hashtag play your own game, son, and I'll see you next week.
Cheers, G-Wiz. Thank you very much.
I am going to toss a coin right now. I'm going to toss a coin right now because this -16.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Jason.
Going to be priced.
Well, hold on, you haven't told us what heads or tails it will be. What's going to be doing this?
Oh, don't worry. It'll be hang on. It'll be a best of 3. It'll be a best of 3. Hang on.
Right, so it's quite obvious, everybody listening in chat, that Jason's going to be tossing a coin whether he does a -16 or not to get this team up on screen right now. Is he going to do it? Lots of people in chat are just saying, do it. I'm praying you do it. Oh, join in the Elite FPL community. Join in the Elite FPL podcast. By the way, if you are enjoying this, just simply hit the like button and show your support. Oh my goodness. Will Jason do a -16 with the team up on screen right now after he's just done a wild card? The whole community right now in the chat is going mad at the moment. And to be honest with you, whether he does it or not, we don't know, because obviously he's not live on screen. We haven't got him on camera. So if he says yes, he's done it, then fair play. If he says no, we may not believe him. All we can hear is the clicking of the coin. Maybe I should have done it for him.
This is the clicking of my brain as it starts to melt. Right. Okay. Are you guys ready for this? Hang on. Hang on. We need to set the scene. We need to set the scene. All right. Give me a moment.
Here we go. Someone's come in and said that TJ4K is saying that you can do it on the website.
Here we go. Right.
Oh, brilliant.
Heads or tails? Right, are we gonna go chat? Are we gonna go with the heads to do it, or are we gonna go with the tails to do it? You let me know.
Well, straight away, heads. So the question is, will it be heads to do it or not do it? Is the question. Everybody get chatting in chat now. Heads to do it or heads not to do it? Oh, it's heads to do it, basically.
Right, I'm gonna just spin the coin. It's gonna fall on the ground. I'm gonna let you know exactly what it does. Right, best of 3, ladies and gentlemen.
This is live radio, live streaming.
First one, and it is. I don't believe it. It's head. Oh my god, my heart's beating. Right, second toss of the coin. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's falling underneath the bloody table. Hang on. Oh my god.
I don't believe he's doing this. This is going to be amazing.
I've got to bloody get the coin back. Oh my god! It's a head! It's only landed on heads! It's landed on heads! Oh my god! I pressed the button! I pressed the button!
Mate, you're going to have to prove it. The only way you can prove it is putting your team up. You've got to put your team up in this team selection thing to prove it.
I've done it. Hang on.
You've got to put it in the thing to prove it. Just to screenshot it or what?
Hang on.
Oh my god. I'm going to have a heart attack. I thought that was Mark Southerns then. It was Mark Saunders.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Gee whiz, Gappage eliminated right now. Ryan, there's no way you've done this. And Moet, come on, use your red. Steve-O, have a shot to celebrate. No, I'm not. I ain't drinking on this. Maybe on a Monday evening. Who knows? Anna Vesta, take a -60. Oh my goodness, John Harris, this is a clip. Well, SMZ, is it? I'm sure you can do something like this. Oh my goodness. Have you put it in there yet, Jason?
Hang on.
Dan Bull saying this reminds me of Pete Smith's drinking games.
There you go.
Resi Dezel, straight away, I have now overtaken Jason just to done that. FPL Little saying should have done it on camera. Oscar, I'm crying. Leo Aussie, Christmas has come early. Master P, wow, you've done this. Let's just see if it is in the old team shot screen. Well, here it is. Jason, how do you feel? Legitimately, that
I
team.
feel like I need a break from FPL. Well,
if Alex Rollo is watching, we need a thumbnail. -16.
I've got to be what, 800,000 now. Hey, it doesn't update till the end of the first game week, so that's the first day. So who have we got on Friday? We've got Southampton, Bournemouth. Great. Okay. Look, literally, I'm happy with that team. I'm happy with that team. Does that ring any bells, Steve-O? Does that ring any bells?
This is going to sound really, really weird, but it's not. If you had done this as your original wildcard, I would be bricking it.
Well, you would, yeah. Now you know the scores.
No. You know my thoughts on what your wildcard was in the first place.
Yeah.
And it came down to your, let's be honest here, with your defence and everything. We've had a discussion this evening that we believe that defences are a waste of time and it's all down to the attack. You, my friend, have gone and got 3 strikers that are pivotal to their teams. You've got De Bruyne. You've got Mane. Now, okay, whatever. We can't talk about Daniel James or Iwobi because this isn't a wildcard team, okay? But I'm sure if you did do a wildcard, you could have played around with Iwobi and Daniel James and maybe got in Son as an example. I don't know. But Jason, mate, okay, admittedly you've done a -16, but that team there is looking absolutely extraordinary right now as I look at it. I think fair play. I mean, there are people talking about Champions League and Europa League. What if some of these players get injured?
Well, I wouldn't have been able to do it. That was 0 in the bank. That's the 0 in the bank team. And Pookie's going up tonight. It's looking like, and God knows how else is going to go. Well, certainly that Rico possibly going to go up, but he probably isn't going to be nailed on. But yeah, you can't deny the power of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. If you say you're going to do something, on the toss of a coin, best of 3, 2 heads in a row. I mean, that's saying something.
I mean, people in chat are basically loving this. I mean, Lad is saying you're going to regret this, mate. FPL Boona -16 and no Cantwell. Right, Ryan 0605. I'm going to marry that coin. Leo Ozzy, the power of the coin. Paid a pal, no Son. Salah is finally playing with fire. No Son or Salah is playing with fire. Sorry, I mean, you're definitely sure it's your daughter that's ill, right? I mean, show me the Mane. Cheers, Jason. Good luck next year. I mean, I spoke. In all seriousness, I spoke with. Well, I did speak with you privately, obviously, only briefly, and I was going to speak to you about it tonight. But I had my little mini speech earlier on about the fact that I'm seriously tempted of just keeping away from anything FPL related apart from this show, because I love doing this show. It's just amazing, just to stop my brain from exploding. Are you feeling either, number one, you've been watching too many FPL content that's marring your brain, or do you feel that maybe the content that we're creating, the amount of feedback that we're getting is clouding your judgment? What are you putting this decisions down to? The wild card, this -16, as wonderful and entertaining that it is, it's almost like you've just given up and you've just gone, I don't care. not literally, but that's what it feels like it's coming across. As wonderful as that moment is, going back from a serious point of view, I mean, Andrew Fong straight away, it's a long season, all it takes is one successful triple captain, it ain't over. Well, we all know how you're triple captain in last year, but no, tell us, go on, Jason, this wonderful moment that you created.
I keep telling everybody, right, play your own game, and don't get caught up in the majority of discussion that goes on between who are the better picks. I mean, make your own mind up with the information you've got available. Don't and also this stage of the season, like no one's going to listen to my advice now, but my advice is just to, I mean, if this is the time in the season when you can take risks, okay, and they can pay off. And if they don't, you can claw back those points. And enjoy the game. That's what matters the most. Enjoying the game. And if you're excited about the game or the team that you've got, that's most of the joy that comes from this. And congratulations to everybody that was close to me in the tables that have just overtaken me.
Well, I still won't overtake you. That's how ridiculous this situation is. I still won't even overtake you.
There we go, guys. There we go. I'm still above Steve-O, so it's all right. It's fine. But you'll be closer. Now make it a bit more fun.
That's what makes me sick about this game, is that you'll have taken a -16. I'll do my 2 free transfers. I'll play it safe. I'll get another 32 points, whereas you'll go and get 100 points along with wiping out that minus. I don't know what I do. next week and everything. I'll tell you what I'm going to do deliberately right now. FPL Hot Sauce, you're a regular of the show. I am going to get you live on air. FPL Hot Sauce.
I'm gonna have to go now. I've got to go.
All right.
But no, thank you everybody, and thank you everybody for telling me to do the -16. I really appreciate it. I listened to all of you guys, and it's all because of you that I did it. Thank you. Bye.
Jason, thank you. I'm speechless. I am. That is going to go... John Harris, this is going to go down as a moment to behold. Someone asked a minute ago what on earth's happened here, and, co-host and creator of everything that you see in front of you right now. Wildcarded last week. He's now gone and taken live on air a -16 to bring in Aubameyang, Agero, essentially. And Mane, of course. Sorry, Aubameyang, Agüero and Mane, essentially to bring in... Oh, and Pookie. Oh, Pookie, Aubameyang, Mane. Bloody hell, we'll get there one day. So essentially, Jason has just done a -16 to essentially fund Pookie, Aubameyang and Mane. I think we need to get some calls on. Oscar, you are live on the Elite FPL Sunday Surgery, my friend. Live reaction to this -16 Jason has just done.
What can I say?
I don't know, I'm asking you, mate.
I think he's lost the plot a bit. Personally.
Do you think... I mean, we've joked on air about this. You say that he's lost the plot. I mean, looking at his team now up on screen, I'm telling you now, it looks a hell of a lot better than what it did, but he's had to do it for a -16. Do you think it's too knee-jerky based on the results of what's happened this week, or do you think actually the players that he's brought in are actually worth this -16?
So, I'm looking at the team. I think Aubameyang's going to bang against Villa. And, I mean, at the end of the day, if he has a good week, he's getting a -16, which will turn it back down into an average week. So, it's a tricky one.
Well, yeah, it is absolutely indeed. I mean, we're doing the Sunday... Well, I'm doing the Sunday surgery this evening. It's been a bit all over the place at the moment. And how has your game week gone then?
So I finished the game week on 75 points, which is pretty good.
I was just looking at your team here, and I mean, this specific game week, you must be absolutely over the moon with how it's gone.
I'm delighted. I couldn't have asked for anything more, apart from captaining Mane, but who cares? If someone had told me at the start of the week, 75 points, you've jumped 1.2 million ranks, I would have gone nuts. So, what can I say?
And remind us, is this a wild card? Or was it a wild card a couple of weeks ago?
I think I wildcarded game week 3, I think.
Right, so I want to ask about Abraham and Son. When did you get these two particular players in?
So I got Son in straight after his suspension.
Right, okay.
And I got Abraham in this week.
Oh, for who? For who? Just of interest, just to rub it in.
Oh, it was Connor Wickham.
How did you remind the audience? Because I know we had you on yesterday, but remind the audience how you funded Abraham in for Connor Wickham. Obviously, you would have downgraded somebody.
So I had about 1.5 in the bank. So I did Lanzini to Cantwell, and then.
Bloody hell! And where are you overall ranked now? roughly?
I think about 500k now from today's games.
Yeah, obviously Mina got you one solitary point. So moving forward, are you thinking of doing a minus 16? I mean, in all seriousness, have you thought about what you're going to be doing for next game week, or are you just sticking with this team?
I'm probably going to stick and then look to downgrade Wan-Bissaka in the future.
But until then, you don't know when. I mean, who've Man United got up next? I forget who they've got
West
now.
Ham.
Oh, West Ham away, of course. Yeah. I think West Ham will cause them problems and everything. But Oscar, any final thoughts before we let you go?
I'm just hoping Champions League, Man City have a comfortable win. Sterling comes off 65th minute, starts against Watford, bangs a hat-trick.
We are all hoping the same. Oscar, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
There we are. Oscar, 74 blinking points. Congratulations. Especially bringing in Abraham this week. Right then, I don't recognise this name, so we're going to deliberately bring this new caller on. We always like bringing on new callers, and it's Rye James Castle. I'm assuming that's Ryan James. Rye James Castle, you are live on the Elite FPL Call, my friend.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi.
I mean, instant reaction to co-host Jason's minus 16.
Questionable.
In what respect?
I don't think I wouldn't have done that. Although I've never really taken. I only started doing FPL last year, and I think I've only ever really done a points deduction for like transfers once. And that was around just after a bad start last year, and I thought, right, I've just started doing this. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I kind of need to. I think this isn't working. I should change. Essentially, was my thinking for that last year, but I haven't taken any points deductions since. It's not the sort of thing that I'd usually do.
Well, we've got your team up on screen at the moment. It's a Matip in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Lundstrom... Matip in goal. Matip, Alexander-Arnold, Lundstrom, Dunk, Mane, Sterling, De Bruyne, Wesley, Callum Wilson and Pookie. 51
Yeah, I
points.
have Edison in goal.
Who, sorry?
Edison in goal. Edison
in goal, right, okay.
Yeah.
A 4-3-3 formation, it's very, very unusual. Do you normally go with a 4-3-3, or is it just for this season only, or do you play around with rotating players?
Yeah, I rotate. Last week I was a 3-4-3, and I had Douglas Luiz playing instead of Lundstrom, and I had Kelly playing instead of Dunk, which worked out because they kept a clean sheet.
Of course, yeah. What about Cantwell though? Do you ever play Cantwell?
Cantwell is that guy I just left on the bench, and he's in my team for next week. I only just brought him in this week, and it was just to kind of like open up for a different transfer in the future. Because underneath you can see what my team is for next weekend.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. And of course,
I've
next weekend.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, right. Yes, yeah. For people listening audio, we got. Oh, you've already done a transfer. In fact.
Yeah. I've like changed quite a lot of my team. I used the wild card.
Yeah, I was going to say you've done your wild card. I want to ask you this question then. Why have you done the wild card?
I haven't. I don't feel like I've started that well, and my defense. I feel like my defense is doing poorly. Although I guess everyone's defense is doing poorly, and wasn't a fan of Wesley. I've had Wesley in for a few weeks now, and he's not really been doing anything. Callum Wilson I like. I had Callum Wilson for most of last year, but I was planning on. Originally, I was trying to come up with a way to work around it because I have 3 Seek players and 3 Liverpool players at the moment, this weekend, and I wanted to kind of get rid of Edison and I wanted to get in Agero, which probably meant getting rid of Mane, and I didn't want to get rid of Trent because at least Trent, like even if Liverpool aren't getting the clean sheets, he's still getting up and getting assists. So I think he's been quite poor defensively this year, but he's still good offensively. And I was just trying to think of a way to work around it, and I couldn't really figure one out in my head that wouldn't have taken quite a few weeks to get through. So I thought wildcard.
And of course, you've gone with, so for people listening on audio, we've got Lloris, Alexander-Arnold, Lundstrom, Digne, Bednarak, Cantwell, Sterling, De Bruyne, Abraham, Aguero, Pukki. But on the bench, Mason Mount, Dunk, and Douglas Luiz. I mean, do you think that you've put too much money on the bench, and wouldn't it be wiser to invest that money into the first team? Or are you actually one of these players that likes to have, well, let's be honest here, a playing bench?
Yeah, I like having a bench. I had a bench for most of last year, and I kind of kept that going because I switch and depending on fixtures. So if there was a week where, because if say Southampton or Sheffield not Wednesday, people get mad at me for that. Sheffield United are playing a top team. I feel like they're more likely to concede quite a bit. Or concede multiple goals, or at least concede. So I'd take one of them off and bring on Mason Mount. But I think the only reason he's really on the bench this weekend is because they've got Liverpool, even though they've not been as solid defensively. And I've still stuck with Tammy because I feel like he's more likely to get points.
Now, you've obviously hit the wild card, I'm assuming, tonight?
I did it yesterday, I think.
Oh, yesterday,
like yesterday evening.
So you've got up till Friday. I always ask this simple question. Of this, well, I say 11, of this 15, how many are you debating on who to have? So which ones do you think, oh, I'm a bit iffy about that particular player?
I don't know. I feel like I've got it pretty locked down. I wanted a Southampton centre-back, and Bednarak's played not a centre-back, but a Southampton defender, because they don't let in many goals, apart from that first game week, and I think they have the most clean sheets in the league with 2. And he was... I was going to get Vestergaard, but he's, I think, 5.1, and Bednarak's 4.5, so he saves me like 0.6, and I think that allowed me to get Digne. So I think I'm pretty locked down with what I'm going to get. Depending later on the week, my opinion might probably change and I'll switch something, but I've not really got any ideas for anything to switch at the moment. Apparently Tammy has a knock, but
he went off with cramp, so I wouldn't be worried about that per se. You're happy with going with a Southampton defender?
Yeah, I mean, no one's really been that good defensively, really, and I'd say I'd rather, because I think Bednarak's only 4.5, and I'd say, depending on the fixtures, I'm only going to play 3 defenders quite a lot of the time because I'll play Mount, and I also have Douglas Luiz on the bench. And if, say, 2 of my defenders have a hard game, I have Lewis Dunk on the bench as well, so I can pick and switch depending on fixtures, which I like.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I'm looking at this wildcard team, and certainly the front 6, 7, including Mount that you've got, let's be honest here, they're very knee-jerky for this particular game week after what they've done. You haven't gone with Liverpool attack whatsoever. Does that not concern you?
Maybe, but I think if say Sterling was underperforming, I could obviously switch him out for make a bit of money and switching out for a Salah or Mane, who I had for pretty much all last year and had, but I've just taken out because I wanted Agero. But I still have Trent, which I did have 3 Liverpool players with Matip and Mane with him last week, but
I mean, there's been all this talk tonight about maybe is it better to be pairing Sterling with De Bruyne or Agüero with De Bruyne. It does seem to me that a lot of people are saying Agüero, admittedly the Twitter poll at Elite FPL favoured Sterling. I think that's more the fact that he's a midfielder. Do you not think that maybe downgrading to Sterling to, like you just mentioned, Mane, may be a better decision, and then you may be able to upgrade some defenders?
Maybe, but I don't know what defenders I really want to upgrade is the thing. I mean, when I was looking at your team, I was confused about Zinchenko because I'm a City fan and we've been pretty bad defensively, and now with Laporte out injured, I don't think that's going to get any better. And
well, I mean, let's be honest here. You're Man City, and you're one of the best team. Well, if not the best team in the league, if not one of the best teams in Europe. And let's be brutally honest here. Conceding the way you do, I just think, here we go, everybody. I think it's just disgusting, personally. But and that, you just want City defensive coverage. I mean, you had Edison as a simple example. It's one of those where you'd like to think that purchasing a quote unquote premium defender from a team of your quality, you'd like to think you get more than one clean sheet so far this season.
Yeah, well, I originally, at the start of the season, I had Robertson, Trent, and Alisson.
Oh, right.
And then Alisson got injured, so that was first game, so he got switched out for Edison. And then I didn't have any City defend. Actually, no, I had Cancelo, but he wasn't playing and still hasn't played yet. I think he might start on Wednesday, but that's Champions League. But with Mendy coming, I did think about Zinchenko, but I thought Mendy will be back pretty soon. I think Mendy's due back this month. And given that our defence has been horrific so far this season, and with Laporte getting injured, that's just going to get worse. I got Otamendi at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, just before we let you go, your thoughts on actually, from a real life perspective, losing to Norwich. Just a quick thought process on yesterday's game.
I'd left Pookie in my team. I'd taken out Cantwell, which was a mistake, and I captained Sterling for this because I'd had in my predictions I had 5-1 City because let's be honest, even on a average day, we should be beating Norwich by at least 3 goals with our team. And whenever we go and play Norwich, it's usually always a load of goals. It was a load of goals, but not the right way, and it wasn't 5-1. And I couldn't, after we let in the 3rd goal at the start of the second half, I just got annoyed. I turned it off and went and broke things outside. I used my anger in a good way and went and cut some logs up outside for the fire because go on. I just couldn't deal with how, because I don't mind if we lose, I get that, but you lose every now and then. But in the manner that we lost, no one looked like they cared. Like we're putting in any effort. No one was trying that much, and it was just a bit. It just annoyed me.
Do you put that down to the fact that you were playing Norwich and your players just thought, well, we should be, they just took it easy, they just took it for granted, and they just didn't have the heart like Norwich did to really go for it and to beat you?
Not really, because even we'd conceded twice by half time. We'd conceded twice by around 30 minutes. We got the 1 goal back. We were pushing them after we went 2-0 down. We got 1 back. That should be right. Second half, you just go, you turn this around. But I didn't see that. And then we just, Otamendi and Stones just dawdling, let in a 3rd. And I was just like, right, this just hasn't changed. watched around another 5 minutes and was like, yeah, this just isn't changing. This doesn't look like we're turning this around. I turned it back on around 75 minutes and still 3-1. Sure, we're putting on pressure, but none of our chances were really doing great, in my opinion. And the manner in which we lost annoyed me more than anything.
Yeah, I can. Just one quick final question. Like
Newcastle last year.
Say that again.
That was like Newcastle at the start earlier in the year in January, which was the last time we lost in the league. We just didn't turn up.
Just one quick final question. Will they go and wash aside Watford next week?
I could see us battering Watford.
Okay.
To be honest, I can see us beating everyone until like our next big game. I'm not sure when our next big game is. I think we have Liverpool in like November. But I think we our next. I'd say Wolves will be a tricky game, which is game week 8. But
you say that, but the way they're playing at the moment, I mean, Chelsea, if they're scoring 5 past Wolves, what on earth will Man City be?
And they'll be in the middle of their Europa League run, and they don't have a deep squad, which is their problem.
Absolutely. Rye James, thank you for joining us this evening, and good luck with your team selection for the next 4 or 5 days.
Right, thanks.
Cheers, thank you. There's Rye James there with he's hit his wildcard button. Moving on to the next caller, we've got Swar Gunnasaw. So Swar Gunnasaw, you just need to unmute your microphone and we will get you live on there. We got your team. That'll be up on screen in a few seconds. 48 points. Swar Gunnasaw, you are live on the Elite FPL Call, my friend. Hello, Swar. Are you there? Here we go. Swar, good evening to you.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening,
my real name is Mohit. I'm sorry, my real name is Mohit, and I've been following your channel for I've been following your channel for a couple of weeks now, and frankly, this is a very good change of pace, following all the tips and tricks.
Well, we do not do tips or tricks, but if you get any tips or tricks from
this is a very good change of pace.
It's more of a get everything off your chest, chat to myself and Jason, chat to the people in Discord, chat to anybody basically you like, and they will help you with what you need to do and whatnot. But we've got your team up on screen at the moment. A respectable 48 points. You had Dean you're playing today. I mean, how are you personally feeling about your team? Because looking at it, you know, it's actually a very, very good team.
I would hope I'd change Barnes after a few weeks, but he has a lot of fixtures coming up. I was scared about Cantwell and Pookie, but I was dubious about Man City's defense as well, so I just went with them. I was thinking of changing Cantwell to Dunk, but then turned out great this way.
Yeah, I mean, you must be very, very disappointed in the Sterling captaincy foul, along with many, many others. Did you ever at any point during this week have the captaincy on Salah?
I was contemplating Salah or De Bruyne. But Sterling was the main choice for most of them, so I was just trying to ride the wave. But as it turns out, I might just captain Pookie next time.
Well, they're up against Burnley. Burnley can't keep a clean sheet. I don't give a damn what people say. Burnley do not keep clean sheets on a regular basis, shall we say, on that point. I mean, moving forward, you saw Jason take a -16. Any quick thoughts on that, what people are saying, mad decision?
Yeah, that was gold. I mean, just this Friday I was following the channel and I heard him say, he's off Pookie now. He doesn't want Pookie in his team anymore. But seeing this today just made my day.
And it's moments like you've just given me just now which make this podcast worth everything that we do. So moving forward, Moed, are there any transfer thoughts that you're thinking of doing for next game week, or are you sticking with this team? Because I think this team is looking absolutely solid for next game week, unless you've got 2 free transfers, of course.
No, I had to make a -4 to bring Alexander-Arnold in. So that was that was sad as well, because I had Van Bissaka before this.
Oh.
Yeah. So I started off with all the good names. I started off with Fraser, Sigurdsson, and
join the club.
I had King and everybody who, I mean, but then I had to change. I had my wild card the 3rd week. And then things started panning out better. But then I took out Alexander-Arnold for Van Bissaka, and then they went hell. So I had to change that again. So I'm just trying to save my transfers for the week after. Yeah. So I'll just go with this for now.
Yeah. I'll ask you this final quick question. Who do you think's better partnering Kevin De Bruyne? Is it Sterling or Agüero?
I feel people are figuring out Sterling, and probably they're just trying to guard him more. Being the central figure, Agüero, I mean, as you said, everything goes through Agüero. So Agüero is a big, I mean, you cannot just ignore Agüero. But the thing is, I have to keep a good midfield because obviously the points. So I cannot bring in Agüero. I'll just have to stick to Sterling just to cover Man City.
Yeah, exactly. Moed, thank you for coming on the show. Have you got any final thoughts before we let you go?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking, but yeah, thanks for having me on the channel.
Yeah, thanks very much. Really appreciate the call, Moed. There's Moed there. He had 48 points. He had a pretty solid game. We cannot complain with that whatsoever. I keep saying this. If you're wanting to come live on air, we are going to go on for a bit longer than normal. Everything seems to be fine, surprisingly. There's no issues with the internet whatsoever. And what I will do now is... And for anybody that is wanting to come live on air, we now have a new area where to post your teams if you are going to be coming live on air. So what I'm going to do, that's exactly what Fico has done. And Fico22, you are live on air, my friend. Fico22, you are live on the Elite FPL Sunday Surgery, my friend. Welcome. Hello, Fico. No. Oh.
Hello.
Hello there, Fico. We're just about to cut you off, and oh, you son of a captain in Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Tell us why you went with Aubameyang rather than, well, De Bruyne, or more importantly, Salah.
I mean, I had him on the whole time. Broke.
You must be absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I was hoping we were going to win today. But
obviously you got two goals from Aubameyang. Unfortunately, you drew. Did you watch the game today? Did you watch the game today, Feka?
Yeah, I did.
And how did Maitland-Niles perform? I see you've got him in your team.
I think he was all right. A few errors in the main, in the ball away, but the assist was really good and the running behind.
And is Maitland-Niles an option moving forward for people that are on a wild card or even potentially thinking of getting rid of a defender and bringing him in instead?
He's an option. I think also Fabian Schär. Cheap options and around that mark.
Why Fabian Schär?
2 goals recently, even an international. Both very similar goals. And playing more forward. I know he plays for Newcastle, but last season for Newcastle, and he's kind of being one of their best players.
Interesting. I mean, like you said, he plays for Newcastle and everything. Were you expecting Pookie to be getting you a goal, let alone a double-digit haul yesterday?
Not really, but I didn't have anyone else on the bench. You can see below who's actually going to play. Didn't think Rico was going to start. And I was hoping for maybe one assist.
So you had Rico playing on the bench, but unfortunately he got the assist and Dina on the pitch got you 0 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying.
It is.
But,
it is indeed, my friend. Fieco, thank you for coming live on air, my friend.
Thank you.
There's Fieco there. Short and sweet, as they say. Let's bring on Anish. Anish, of course, came live on air the other day predicting the results with us. Anish, you are live on the Elite FPL Sunday Surgery. We got a car alarm going off today. Means. Hello, Anish. You are live on the Elite FPL call-in. Nope, he's not there. Fair enough. Let's go to Ezo. Ezo, you're live on the Elite FPL Sunday Surgery, my friend.
Hello, sorry. Oh, sorry, I just cut out a bit.
No, it's all right. It's all right. What are your thoughts on Jason doing a live -16 this evening?
It's absolutely outrageous. Like, when he was like the coin, I was just like, why is he even debating this? Because personally, from my perspective, I'm looking to not even take like a -16, you know, for like throughout the entire year. I'm trying to take as least minuses as I can throughout the year. And for him to take a -16, especially straight after using his wildcard, I think he's just, you know, panicked. Didn't really think things through after, obviously, not a great game week for him. But, I mean, his team is looking amazing after it. Don't get me wrong, I mean, the attack is phenomenal, but I personally don't think he should have done it. But we'll see if it pays off for him.
Well, I mean, I've got it up on screen right now, and, I mean, you'd like to think players like Aubameyang, Pookie, Mane should play off. I mean, do you think, like some people have said, that he's lost the plot?
I mean, kind of, to be fair. I don't know, as I said, I just think he wasn't thinking clearly after a poor game week. And I just think if he actually put some proper thought into it, which I don't really think he did, you know, maybe he wouldn't have done this, but who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows? So, Ezo, we had you on yesterday. I've got your team up on screen, or I will do. 51 points. Is that all out? It looks like...
Wow.
No, you've got Allaire to play tomorrow. Is that right? Is that Ashley Barnes? I can't quite see. Oh, that's Ashley Barnes. So you've got no players tomorrow, but you played... Is that right? You've played your triple... Yeah, you did.
Unfortunately, yeah.
How are you feeling after that?
I mean, I was like having a heart attack while watching the Man City game yesterday. I mean, very disappointing. I mean, Man City just didn't look themselves. They were quite slow on the ball for most of the game. They just, you know, I think De Bruyne hurt them in the first half. It was they weren't really creating much. You know, many good chances, that is. So yeah, I mean, I'm devastated that Sterling didn't pay off for the triple captain, but it's the kind of risk you have to take, I guess. So it's annoying, but it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the double game weeks and everything later on in the season, I'm sure you're going to rue the day that you used the triple captaincy and everything, but there was logic behind it. I'll ask this question to you. Who's the better partnership to have in your FPL team? Is it Sterling with Kevin De Bruyne, or would you think now it's Agero?
It's a really tricky one because like I'm a massive fan of Sterling. Like I'm not a Man City Sterling really highly, probably more highly than most people actually do. But it's just looked like that Agero when he's at front, he will score goals. It's like almost a guarantee that he will score goals and do bits in the game. Where with Sterling, as we've already seen, blanked 2 games, and that could happen more during the season. Where with Agüero, I think it's more unlikely to happen. So I've been looking at like different options with my team, like on transfers and seeing what I could do with Agüero or different other transfers. And I think I've got 2 spare transfers, so I can't bank another one this week.
So you're in the same. Yes, you were on with Jason, weren't you, last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in the same boat as me, and I look at your team, and I think what sticks out where I think to myself, I've got to get rid of these particular players. Well, straight away I'm thinking, this is just off the top of my head, Ashley Barnes and Michael Keane. They're the 2, or maybe even the Liverpool pairing, maybe Barnes and Matip. But it's a question of, like with me, who on earth do you bring in for the price points? I mean, I'm looking at playing around with potentially doing a -4 and bringing in, Son for Ceballos, downgrading Barnes to somebody, and then Zinchenko down. I don't know, but have you got any thought processes into your head about how you're going to use these 2 free transfers? Maybe even just using one.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I've got lots of screenshots on my phone of like what I could do and everything. And some of I haven't even considered taking Keane out, and the only reason for that is he's playing Sheffield United next game week. Then you've got Man City, who I might bench him for. And then you've got Burnley, obviously no disrespect to Burnley. And he's got a couple of easy game weeks, and that's why I don't want to take out Michael Keane in the minute. But Everton, haven't looked best defensively. I think when I've been like looking at my transfer options, I've really been taking Robertson out, is what I was thinking of doing, and downgrading to possibly. I've been looking at a Spurs defender. I know Ori is quite cheap, but whether he'll start a load of games, I'm not too sure. And with Ashley Barnes, I really want to keep. I rate him. He's a goal scorer, but also he's got really nice fixtures. But then again, I do want Tammy Abraham or Alain. So so they're kind of the things I'm looking at right now, but I'm not sure.
Well, if Tammy Abraham, if Allaire goes and matches what Tammy Abraham did, it is going to be, well, as Jason proved earlier on, a toss of the coin. Ezo, I can only wish you luck in what you're going to be planning to do with your transfers and everything, and we'll hear from you again at some point next week, my friend.
Yes, thanks very much.
Cheers, dude. There's Ezo there with his thoughts on what he's thinking of doing with his transfers. I want to address a point that Ace Adventura, wonderful name, brought up in the chat. It's nothing bad. It's quite an interesting point. He says that there's a lot of pressure on Steve and Jason. Both have been top-notch presenters and should be proud no matter the FPL end results. I don't feel the pressure from the community, as you're kind of maybe potentially getting at. That's what I read into that point of view. All I take seriously is a cash mini league. In this case, it's the challenge mini league that what all of us guys are part of. And you could argue as well maybe that the competitive rivalry between me and Jason as co-hosts between each other, if anything, I'd probably take that more seriously. And I don't feel the pressure from, for example, if people in the chat, when Jason did his -16, once the old Harara, Euphoria, whatever, ended, a lot of people were, the word hate is a bit strong, but they were just basically saying, madness, what's he done? He don't care. I go back all the way back 2 hours ago. Just quite simply this. He can do whatever he wants. I can do whatever I want. And Jason will not care what you guys think. Whatever you guys may say in the chat, me and Steve-O, me and Jason are not influenced by anything that you guys say. Maybe we would be influenced by the fact that if we were to ask a question, for example, should I do this? A prime example would be when I took my -8 and I did ask the chat. I said, should I do it? And everybody said yes. So I did it. Because you want some kind of validation into your reasoning. But we go back to that whole thing of, you know, are we just intaking too much advice? And whatever you may think of Jason's transfers, his -16. My goodness, I look at his team, and again, I'm going to bring it up and essentially show you guys what Jason has done, because his team now is looking absolutely well, in my opinion, fantastic. But I say this is for you to judge. This is Ace Adventura. If Jason wasn't I'm assuming that means streaming, yeah. If Jason wasn't streaking, if Jason wasn't streaming, he would have considered the -16 more carefully, in my opinion. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I mean, probably, again, it's that whole psychology, isn't it, of if I don't do it, what will the fans of the show think? Will they think we're a fraud? And it may have a detriment effect to what we do. I don't know. But again, Oscar James here, I think he panicked over a bad game week. I'm going to sit here and say, am I glad he's done it? Yes. Because he's a rival. And as FPL Boona was saying, he's glad he's done it as well. You know, he's absolutely glad he's done it. I mean, Jay Kimani, the team was worth it. I mean, if we look at that team now, essentially, he brought in Pukki, Aubameyang and Mane. Look at that team now. Now, everybody's got blinkered eyes on because of obviously the game week that's just happened. Fully aware of that. But I look at that and I think that just looks, the front three, but this is the thing. He's had to take a -16. If I was a cheeky git, I nearly swore then, I could copy this team. You saw me live on air earlier on doing it. I was playing around with having Aubameyang and Agero in my team, and I can do it. And I could have 8.9 in the bank to upgrade to whatever midfielder I want. I mean, even thinking off the top of my head, I could get Richarlison in. Richarlison's on form at the moment. I'm in a situation where I don't know what to do with my transfers. Jason's in a situation where he wildcarded last week, live on air, he's taken a -16. Now, for whatever reasons he's done that for, that's in his head. But he's told you why. Deep down, I think he may have done this because maybe, potentially, as Ace Adventura has just said, maybe feeling the pressure of not doing particularly well, and maybe being the host of a fantasy football, as G-Wiz, I'm going to steal his line, as G-Wiz has mentioned, a FPL content creator. Maybe he feels the pressure that he should be doing well. I don't know, but I can honestly tell you now, I do not feel the pressure of doing well. Even if I was the bottom of the whole game, even though that would be an achievement in itself. You guys do not, I don't want to keep banging on about this, but I'm going to. You guys do not tune in for what we are doing. You tune in for the camaraderie that we bring, for the community that we've built, for this narrative that we're building regarding this Cash Mini League. And talking of this cash mini league, let's just quickly bring that up, because I am fascinated to see quickly. Yeah, I mean, gravy Dave, to be bottom of the whole game would be cool. We had a friend of ours actually, what's his face, I'm going to call him out, no one will have a clue who he is, but Mike Brailsford, if Dan's still there, we obviously know, he was in our Torbay Elite. There's a name for the nostalgia there, for our Torbay Elite mini league. Mike Brailsford, his name was, and he legitimately was only about 100,000 places or something like that off being off bottom of the whole game, and that was last year. So yeah, let's just quickly go through the mini league as of now. Show me the Mane, 52 points. It's the fact that he's got Mopay. Who on earth has Mopay in their team? Well, he does, and he's one of the, I think it's 3% of people, 0.6% that own him. Well done to you. And he's got Yarmolenko and McGinn left to play. Congratulations to you. I know he's in the chat, or I don't know if he's still there now, but he was certainly in the chat earlier on, so well done to showing the Mane. Just quickly move on to second place. Andrew Fong, he was definitely spelled with a F. There's a quote for you, everybody. 52 points, and he's got Allaire. And, he's got Allaire up against Heaton. I don't know what he's going to want there, to be honest with you, but he's another one with Cantwell on the bench. Ooh, unlucky, but thankfully no more extra points for him there. We'll just quickly move on to third spot. Brendan, what have I done, idiot? Brendan, like I said, laptops are so sensitive. God, you just breathe on it and it flaming clicks on the wrong menu here. But Brendan, who's third. Now, maybe people wondering, what do you mean first, second, third, fourth? We're paying out cash wise on the top 4 places in our mini league. So Brendan hit Mills from America, 56 points. Well done to you, Captain Salah. He has nobody playing tomorrow. And finally on to former number 1, Marlon Moore. Congratulations. Well, I say congratulations to you. Unfortunately for you, you've dropped down to that elusive 4th spot. 12,000th in the world. So where on earth is top spot then? You've got McGinn left to play in Heaton. So you're hoping that, well, let's be honest here, Aston Villa win by 10-0. Simply put, I'm just going to see where number 1 in our Cash Mini League is overall in the world, which is Wayne Hanley of Showing the Mane, 6,033rd. I wonder. Oh, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow evening. I'm going to take on one final caller, and it is because he's gone. Brilliant. I was hoping he'd be there. Let's bring on Asparagus. What a wonderful name that is. Asparagus, we're going to bring you live on air in just a few minutes time. All you got to do is unmute your mic. In fact, I'm going to deliberately bring on John Magic. John Magic, you are live on the Elite FPL call in, and I can breathe a sigh of relief because someone's on the same points as me. 32 points. How are you, John?
Lay up, Steve. How you up, buddy?
Well, I don't know who's worse off, me or you, and I think it's going to be me because you got 2 players playing tomorrow, whereas I've only got 1. John, are you there?
Yep.
Did you hear what I just said? Oh, John's. I don't know if it's me or my end. He's gone. What's going on here? John, are you back with us?
Keeps disconnecting for some reason.
Oh, I don't know if it's my end or not. I'm hoping it's not my end because we've been streaming for a very, very long time here. Let's go. Let's try and get this conversation on the way. What are you hoping for from tomorrow's game when you've got Allaire and Heaton playing? Oh, John's gone. What a shame. What a shame. And now he's completely gone, to be honest with you. Skink 97. Skink 97, you're live on the Elite FPL Call, my friend. Hello, Skink.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, mate.
Can you hear me?
How have you been performing so far this week?
Steve-O.
Yes, hello. You are live on the Elite FPL Call, my friend.
Hi, now I can hear you. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm all well and good, my friend. We got your team up on air at the moment, and I can't calculate how many points you've gone with, but congratulations, Captain in Mane. Again, a very.
To be honest, let me be honest with you. I did that move in the morning, like 3 hours before the deadline.
For who?
I got Sterling out for Mane and then just captain.
What on earth made you do that?
For a minute I thought that Sterling wouldn't play because of the international break, so I wasn't gonna risk it with Pep. So instead I thought maybe I could just give it to Mane since he was frustrated last week. He might do something this week. So I just went with that hunch and did it.
I mean, that is one hell of a hunch, though. Let's be honest here. I mean...
That was lucky because before that, Pepe was my captain. Before that, Pepe was my captain for the game week until the last final moment, and then Mane was my captain for the week.
Yeah, I mean... That's just absolutely amazing. I mean, where are you about ranked in the world?
Right now, after this game week, after today's matches, I've gone down. Right now I'm 6,000.
Wow, brilliant. Wow, congratulations on being that high up in the league.
Yeah, I'm just hoping Hala makes me even go up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, you got 0 points today. I mean, oh no, you got Pepe playing. I mean, when did you get Pepe in?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Right, okay, and what made you go with him?
He played good in France, so I was kind of betting on that he'd be off in a good start, like after the assist he did last week, so I was thinking he might do something as well this week. But I'm gonna give him one more chance with Aston Villa. If Aston Villa are leaky at the back tomorrow, I'll give him one more chance against Villa.
I don't think it really matters. I think any team that plays Arsenal at the Emirates, they usually get a bit of a spanking, especially the more poorer teams, shall we say. Looking at your team, I mean, we call it the Sunday surgery. The general idea is to come on here and, I say ask us for some advice. I mean, ask us about what we think about your particular teams and what we see maybe moving forward. I mean, I'll ask you, have you got any transfer thoughts in mind ahead of game week 6?
Yeah, I have one. So I'll get Soyuncu out for Aurier.
Oh, you're going to be going with Aurier. Why is this?
He's so much better than Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't know if it's me, but I felt like he was so much better than Kyle Walker-Peters. And also Aurier is more attack-minded, so I'm aiming for the assists at the moment.
So you're confident then that Aurier will be starting for what do we call it, for Tottenham?
Spurs.
Yeah, for Tottenham. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be a bit cheeky here, and ask you a simple question: who are you thinking of captaining next week?
Oh, that's a tough one. To be honest, it depends on how tomorrow's game goes. Because if it goes as I think it will. I don't know. I don't know who my next week captain will be.
Well, how do you think tomorrow will go?
If what I'm thinking is right, West Ham should go away with it. Maybe a 3-1, because McGinn might be sneaky again. But I'm hoping Hala gets at least maybe 2 goals or 2 assists out of that, and then if that's the case, then I might end up doing something audacious as captaining Pepe against Villa, depending on how leaky they are.
No. I fully appreciate that. What I was going to ask you, and it's completely gone off my head now, is have you been climbing the ranks to get to 6,000, or have you dropped to 6,000? So, in other words, have you been higher than 6,000?
Yeah, I've actually dropped. There was a time I was 500. But then
wow,
I had like only one bad game week. Like one game week, I was right at the average, and then I dropped that much. It's just one game week.
Which game week was that?
So bad. It was game week. Let me confirm real quick. Yeah, game week 3. I had 37 points.
Wow, how are you feeling being that high up at the time, being 500th in the world? Did you really feel the pressure?
You feel it, because you kind of feel like you have to do better either to maintain or at least climb higher. And then in all your leagues, you're number 1, so everyone's looking at you. You know, everyone's eyes is on you. But it's kind of good as well, because you kind of end up thinking more critically, because you're just in it for the win now. You just want to do better and better. So you block all the noise and just go with I block all the noise and just go with my gut. If like I have a feeling like taking Son in by Wednesday, or how they perform in the Champions League, I might just get him. Just go with your hunch. That's all. That's the best advice I can give you.
How do you just from a conversational point of view, how do you personally go about blocking the noise? Just literally just avoid social media and various other FPL content creators, or?
No, like if people tell me, yo, for instance, right now people are going all to me Abraham. So what I do is I'll keep an eye. I just have a watch list for them. Like if people just tell me, yo, get this guy, I'll just keep a watch list on them. And depending on their fixtures and their form, that's when I just grab them. Or depending on how they played last game week.
I mean, you've just mentioned Tammy Abraham. Have you even considered bringing him in for Greenwood, maybe, and going with maybe a 3-4-3?
Yeah, to be honest, because I have enough money to do that. So I might just get Greenwood out. But the thing is, I don't know who to get out. I don't know who comes out. Maybe Maddison, but Leicester will start off having a good run of fixtures soon.
And of course, Maddison's one of the few Leicester players that have been a bit consistent this year.
Yeah, he is, because he's on everything, set pieces, corners, and oh my God, he can do everything. So he's like a chip, like a Joker card. You don't know what happened.
Can I ask you a simple question? Have you played any chips this year so far?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let me tell you something, Steve-O. The day that I wildcarded is the day that I played worst. The day that I got 37 is the day I used the wildcard. No, not really the wildcard, but the free hit.
Wow, you've used the free hit already and you only got 37 points. What made you use the free hit chip?
I was not... At that time, I did really bad because I bargained that Son might come back, because it's the time Son came back, so I gave him the captaincy. And I thought that maybe he'll do better.
Wow.
And then I tried the 4 at the back defense with Digne, Wan-Bissaka, Walker, and Montoya. They all did really bad. Like I had 2 zeros out of that.
Yes. I mean, I've been mentioning this evening about the fact that maybe we should be sacking off quote unquote premium defenders and maybe bringing in the cheaper ones, because they seem to be getting the same equivalent points as the premium ones, and maybe upgrading our attack. What are your thoughts on that?
Right now, I'll only have like one premium defender. Like I've decided to stick with Alexander-Arnold, because he's on set pieces as well.
So, well, I would classify Digne as a premium as well, with the quality of attacking returns that he can potentially get, and the fact that, okay, barring today and last week, Everton are solid defensively. But I understand what you mean.
Yeah, because to me, I thought premium was like 6.5 and above.
Oh yeah, that's like the general terminology. I just see it from the point of view of what a player would potentially be bringing you, and if they are, in my opinion, if they're 6 million or above. But I understand what you're saying, yeah. But my point being is that, do you see there's more value in maybe downgrading Trent Alexander-Arnold to, I don't know, a cheap defender and upgrading one of your midfielders, maybe Maddison to Son as an example?
Yeah, I could definitely do that if I find a good replacement, maybe depending, because I'm waiting to see if by any chance Mendy ends up not really Mendy is expensive, right? But I might actually downgrade from Alexander to someone else later, because that extra money really helps you a lot. That really helps you a lot. So I might just go down. Maybe I'll see which team starts off, playing really solid at the back, and then get a cheap defender so I can just have a solid premium midfield. That I will be sure will give me points week in, week out.
And that
I could try do that.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought process. Full stop. Skink, any final words before we let you go, my friend?
Man, to be honest, you gotta have two things when playing FPL. You gotta be lucky, and you gotta I don't know. You just have to be lucky as well, because I wouldn't believe that Wilson will actually perform as well as he did this week, and wow, he blew my mind. He was in my first team before I got him out.
Don't need to tell me. Yeah, he was in the team for everybody, and then he was getting. Don't get me wrong, he was getting regular returns, but it was just seems to be assists after assists, and then all of a sudden, last 2 game weeks he's been getting the goals, and maybe. I mean, I'll ask you straight away: is he somebody worth putting on your watch list?
He is. So if he ends, but I think Bournemouth's good run of fixtures are coming to an end soon. Isn't that right?
Well, let's just quickly bring up Bournemouth quickly. If we just click on their team here, Bournemouth's fixtures are as is. Let's quickly click on that. They've got Southampton away, West Ham at home, and then Arsenal away, Norwich at home. Well, it basically changes at I would say Man United away, which is in game week 11, and then from that point onwards. It's not looking good whatsoever, especially between game weeks 14 and 19, where the only decent fixture they've got is, if you classify this as decent fixture, is Burnley at home. So
I might actually consider, if that's the case, I think I might consider him really bad. I might really actually consider him so bad, because Wilson is so consistent right now. Like, in every game week, he's contributed more than 4 points in every game week so far, and that's really a good bargaining chip to bring him into the team. So I might actually do that instead of going for Tammy Abraham. I might just get Wilson instead.
He's literally got, barring today, 5 points a game, barring today.
Exactly.
So, and in the last 2 games he's scored 3 goals, so 2 today and 1 last week against Leicester. Maybe, like you stated, get him on the watch list, see what's what. But it's a question of who do you take out of your team. It's all about upgrading Greenwood, if anything. Because you can't.
Next would be upgrading Greenwood, and then I'll play around with my midfield.
Yeah.
Like, say, for instance, whoever has the one that I might consider tough, I'll just bring him in instead.
Absolutely, my friend. Cheers, Skink. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. There's Skink there with his 6,000th in the world, was 500th. Incredible. Like he said, the pressure you must feel being that high up. I mean, people like me and Jason, we feel pressure flaming just against each other, but yeah, that is just absurd. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one final call, and this really will be the final call of the night. It's Japt1998. I think he may have been on with Jason last night. Japt, you're live on the Elite FPL Sunday Surgery. If you want to just unmute your mic. Here we are.
Hello.
Good evening, my friend. And I'm seeing one name sticking out straight away, and it's Josh King.
Yeah, finally he's paid off.
Unbelievable. 10 points. I'm seeing
that
here.
was
2 assists today. I'm assuming he got some bonus points as well. I mean,
yeah, you got a couple of bonus points.
The rest of your team is absolutely, it's just single-digit point scoring, and
much, yeah.
How are you feeling today when Josh King got you the double-digit haul?
I mean, it was good because I watched some of the game, and I mean, his first assist, the ball just bounced off of him, and Wilson headed it in, and then the second assist, he got a free kick on sort of the left edge hand side of the box, and Fraser scored. So I mean, it's 2 lucky assists. He was playing all right, but I mean, yeah, 10 points. Big return from him was nice.
We were just talking about premium defences here, and you are somebody that has got real serious money in defence in Robertson, Alexander Zinchenko. You been thinking about downgrading any of them 3?
The thing is with the Robertson and Trent, I'm thinking about downgrading Robertson, but over between the Burnley, Chelsea and Sheffield United game, I was hoping for sort of 2 clean sheets out of the 3 from the both of them, and the fact that they both got a clean sheet against Burnley and both have got an assist means they've effectively already done that. So I think I'm just gonna hold with that team for next week as well, because they've already effectively got the 2 clean sheets. So anything they get now is just I see it as like a bit of a bonus.
You've got Lanzini playing tomorrow evening. Have you any hope in him returning you any attacking returns?
Sorry, you cut out there.
You've got Lanzini left to play. Are you hopeful of any attacking returns?
Yeah, I'm hopeful he can sort of pick up an assist. Really, that'd be nice. I mean, I've got out of the 3 game weeks so far, I've hit 61 points. So and I mean, if he gets an assist, I think I get 61 points. So 4 out of the 5 weeks, I've got 61 points. So sort of
we've just had
a good average.
We've just had Skink on air. That was 500th. He's 6,000th at the moment.
Yeah.
Where are you then, roughly in the?
Oh, I'm like 1.4 million. I had quite a bad second game week. I think it really hurt me.
Right. I see. So what you're saying is you're averaging 60 odd points.
I'm averaging 60 odd points.
Right.
Yeah,
I see. I understand. Right. So you're around the same ballpark as me. Have you thought about your transfers for next week at all, or is that not even been on your mind?
I've been considering my transfers. I'm considering a sort of not for the coming game week, but for the week after.
If you want to elaborate, by all means.
So I'm thinking either, depending on what the situation is with Sterling, I can get him out. I really like the look of Son. He's someone who's quite low, like he's not very highly earned, and I just think he's basically playing as a striker for Spurs at the moment, and he's just a quality player. So if I get Sterling out for Son, then I could look at maybe moving in a Aubameyang, or I could go sort of Sterling out, Son in, and then upgrade Greenwood to Abraham, I think, for game 7. And I think having Abraham and Son is a much better combination than Sterling, but basically Sterling +1, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah.
So I think them as a combination will get me much higher points. Or I'm thinking of downgrading Robertson and to, I think, maybe Saiss, the Wolves defender.
Oh right,
who seems to be getting pretty decent attacking returns, but I don't know about the defence really. And then upgrading Lanzini to Son. Is sort of
so you've clearly got a plan in place there. I'll ask you one final question. Who do you think's well, actually I've got 2 questions for you. Who do you think's better to partner De Bruyne with in FPL? Is it Sterling or Agüero?
I think I've a different way of looking at it. I think Agüero will get more points. I just really like Agüero, but I think if you have Agüero, it means you're playing him with, say, like Lanzini. So most people, the way they'll swap it around is they'll either have Agüero and, say, Lanzini, or you can have, say, Sterling and Pukki, if you get what I mean. So I feel like but I think Agüero will get more points.
And one final question. I'm assuming you saw Jason live. Well, you heard Jason live take a -16.
What a moment.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, personally, not something I'd do, but it's a bold move, and I think to put a positive spin on it, it'll make him feel much happier about going into the coming game week, and I guess that's what it's about at the end of the day, having fun with the game. And if he feels like that team's going to do well, and it is a very good-looking team, then, I mean, good on him for doing it.
Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying, my friend. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
I just had a quick question, sort of in general, actually. With regards to the streaming, I've sort of tried to start myself. I was wondering, when you started streaming, is there anything you sort of wish you knew now?
What we wish what, sorry?
So, as in, when you started streaming, is there anything you now know about streaming that you sort of wish you knew when you started?
Ooh.
Bit of a difference.
That's a question and a half, because when we first... That's more of a question for Jason, to be honest with you, because when we, whether you care or not, but to alliterate the history from the beginnings of this podcast. We used to. So prior, how long have you been watching this podcast for? In other words, do you know who Dan is?
About a month, but I've heard the name dropped. I sort of looked through your old videos,
right.
So yeah.
So Dan was one of our old co-hosts, but I can't even remember how long ago it was now. But me and him were doing for our mini league on the Torbay Elite mini league that we were doing. We would do videos for the private Facebook group, and that was done literally on our mobile phones. So we would upload them, but I'm not joking with you. Uploading a 30-minute video onto Facebook was taking quite literally 14 to 20 hours. Yeah, exactly. So Jason he was part of he's a friend of ours anyway, but he was part of the Torbay Elite mini league, and he just liked what we were doing, and he jumped on board, and we just continued doing what we were doing on the Facebook group. And me and Dan were always like thinking, how can we make this easier to upload and stuff? And Jason simply said, have you thought about doing it on YouTube? And we were like, well, funny you say that. Yeah, would it be a lot easier? And he went, yeah. So we didn't actually used to stream. We didn't actually used to do live stream. What we used to do is record everything through. I'm assuming you know what Zoom is. So
I don't.
Fair enough. It's just this popular. It's basically the equivalent of Skype, but
okay. Yeah.
And we record the videos and we just upload them again to YouTube. And then Jason said to us, do you know what? This is taking forever to upload to YouTube. Do you want to just live stream? Because it would just instantly go up. We were just like, why not?
You go for
we
it.
started doing the live streaming at about, I think Gameweek 6 or 7 last year, approximately. Okay. And we're not even at our anniversary yet of live streaming. So,
what would you say is the sort of turning point? What sort of point did you realise? People are kind of sort of getting into this.
You've only been watching this for a month. I was documenting all this. I found it fascinating, and I'll tell you what's scary. I'll tell you, this will make you interested. I'm sure people listening to this are bored out of their minds now, but in January this year, right?
Yeah.
So when we hit the go live button and we've got like the music playing that you're so used to, January this year we had 8 people just waiting there for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Just 8 people. And I mean, FPL Boona was one of them. Armand Dillon was another. Sultan Saeed was somebody, and I apologise for the other 5 people, but they were there every single week, and it was just 8 of them. You fast forward, 10 months, give or take, 9 months, we hit the start stream, and within a second we've already got 10 people already within a second, and by 5 minutes we've got about 70. Anyway, the point being is that we were just legitimately doing it for the love of our
that's what it's about.
Of our mini league, and we never really interacted with. Well, we did interact with the stream, but ironically, you guys never interacted with us. So we just thought, well, we may as well just continue chatting between the three of us. I mean, the shows back then were like an hour long. I mean, it takes me an hour just to do the intro now. But we only did the shows for about an hour. And I think it was... I think it was towards the end of the season when people started... I don't know... I'd like to get Jason's take on this, actually. This is quite an interesting talking point. Because I can't really answer your question about when we noticed... It
just sort of happened.
I'll tell you when it was definitely changed is when when Jason decided to go on Discord and able to get people like yourself live on air and talk. And that was actually... I
recommend that. That's really good.
Yeah. That was this pre-season. That was pre-season. So in July, I think it was. June, July... And I was streaming literally every single day and I did that for about 2 or 3 weeks straight, just streaming every day, trying to get everything right. Yeah. And it's got to the point now where people like yourself are part of a show which is, it's blowing up.
Yeah, I've seen the Discord thing's great because I haven't seen anyone else do that before, where you can have that level of interactivity. Because another stream just sort of feels like there's a streamer and there's the chat, whereas this, it feels like there's just a big conversation being had.
And that's what it's about. I think that I don't want to go on a tangent here, but I will do. My thing with streamers is that exactly what you just said. It's an individual giving their opinion about anything for an hour and a half, which is great. But when it comes to the interaction with the community, as much as I appreciate the fact that a lot of streamers get a hell of a lot of people asking them questions and they can't go for every single one individually, I fully appreciate that. We can't do that now.
See the chat just flying.
Yeah, but we pride ourselves on the fact that we want to talk to you, like you now, for example. I don't give a stuff about what I've got to say. I only care about what you have to say, and I want to talk about your team. I want to know what's going on. I mean, ironically, we wanted to make the Cash Mini League a real big talking point on the show, but it just feels like we can't because we just get so many people coming on live on air that they want to talk to us about our teams. I mean, what's making you want to stream?
More the fact that I've just left uni this year, so I'm less in contact with those kind of mates, and those are the friends I play FPL with. So it's sort of set a time every week where we get to talk about FPL and just talk about something we all love talking about, when normally that conversation would only be happening over text. And it's nice just to like actually have that conversation for an hour and a half and just talk to them. That's why I'm doing it.
I'm in the same boat as you. I love doing these streams because I can't use Discord because I'm too busy with work. It's impossible for me to use Discord. I mean, me personally, I cannot stand using my phone full stop, but me interacting via text messaging, whether it's with friends or whether it's via Discord, I can't do it. It's just, I can't be bothered to do it. I'd rather just do voice messaging
or have a conversation.
Exactly. And doing this is my kind of therapy, so to speak. And
I feel you.
The conversations that I've had with, even this conversation now, are just absolutely wonderful. And there have been some great callers that we've had, great moments where the insight that we've been get because of people willing to disclose information about certain players have been, it's been fantastic. And I mean, if you're wanting to do streaming and everything, I generally wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, all you've got to do is just hit. Well, you can't even do it on a mobile phone now. You have to do it through. I'm assuming you do it through YouTube. I'm guessing.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah, you've
because
got.
As you said, it would just upload it there straight away. It's like no hassle.
Yeah, there's a lot. Don't get me wrong. Jason does a lot of work behind the scenes to get everything right. And
of course,
again, I stated this, which is now coming up to 3 hours ago. I stated this. I just sit in front of a camera and talk. Whereas Jason's the guy that puts in all the hard work and effort to make sure all the presentation is perfect.
I feel it,
And we put all the money that we get donated, we put that back. We will be putting that back into the podcast and improving your.
Of course, yeah. It's a nice looking stream. If I say that, like, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It is up there with one of the best. I'm not going to lie. I watch a lot of not just fantasy football podcasts, but just podcasts in general. And I'm not going to lie. I think the work that Jason has done is just superb. And I mean, if you haven't, just of interest, have you entered our score predictor game on the website?
I haven't, no.
Oh, well, if you want to, give you an opportunity to look at the website that Jason's designed.
Okay, I'll have a look, yeah.
It's quite, here's a plug for everybody now, but it's elitefpl.com, and it's an absolute, even I was,
get on it.
I couldn't care less about websites, but I was genuinely like, wow, this is incredible. You've got all the features that you require. The simple example being having all the tweets that I think it's the official game put out already there in front of you. It's quite extraordinary. But the point being is that on there we've got the score predictor game, and there's about 100 plus people participating. All you got to do is just predict the scores, and it's a really easy sign up. You just
I do that anyway. So I'll give it a go.
Just all you got to do is predict the scores. Well, thank you for that.
Bit of a tangent. Sorry for that, but
it's always a good conversation. Cheers for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, man.
Cheers, dude. There we are. There's a Jap 1998 there as we talk. Well, let's be honest here, the history of the Elite FPL podcast, and I think that nicely brings the show to the end, because we've been going on for, well, I thank the internet, the Wi-Fi gods. We've been going on straight for 2 hours and 57 minutes, and if I continue talking for a few more minutes, we're going to hit 3 hours, which I haven't done a 3 hour stream for a very, very long time. I need to be getting bets, so let's do the admin. So let's do the easy bit, shall we? As ever, if you've enjoyed the stream, in fact, I know you guys have done this, but if you haven't, as Andy Let's Talk FPL says, on your way out, simply just hit that like button. That's the we get a lot of people asking us, how do we support the show, how can we make you guys get bigger. The easiest way you can do that is just by hitting the like button when either now or when you're leaving the stream. Basically, that's the easiest way to show your support. If you are watching and you're completely brand new and you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Just simply hit that subscribe button. We are virtually a daily streaming site, and if you do like your fantasy football streams, as we've just discussed there, me and Jason pretty much do it every single day. And like I said, I am planning on potentially doing a solo stream, probably in the morning for our Southern Hemisphere fans, but it'd be more about me potentially doing a mini wildcard kind of thing with my 2 free transfers and a -4. There may be a chance I may even hit the wildcard button. Very, very unlikely, but you never know. Stay tuned for that. And the easiest way to stay tuned and find out is through Twitter and Discord, of course. That's at Elite FPL. Everything's Elite FPL, basically. So I've just mentioned the website, elitefpl.com. Like I've just said, you can get involved in the score predictor game that Jason's built in that. Like I said, there's over 100 people that are participating in that, and I'm praying that I do well in that, but I know for a fact that based on the preview show that I've not done that great this week, but whatever. Follow us on Twitter at Elite FPL for the advertising of everything and when we're next going live. But we always basically post in the Discord no matter what. The Discord is the bread and butter of the show and the community, and of course the link is in the description. I'm sure people like Matt Brunton in chat now, or FPL Boone, or even Daily Llama if he's there, will be more than happy to post the link in the chat. If you are wanting to come live on air, that's the only way you can do it, is being part of the Discord. Other than that, Instagram, of course. but no one cares about Instagram. No, apart from FPL Lad and FPL Kid, of course. But no, Instagram, we are at Elite FPL. And as I've just mentioned, Dan, former co-host Dan, is now in charge of the Instagram page. So anything you see on Instagram is up there based on what he is doing through that. Other than that, all I can say is, well, there we are. Thank you, FPL Booner, for posting up the what do you call it? A link to the Discord. Sorry, I was just distracted there. Jason there, of course, is just posting the link to the website and everything, elitefpl.com. And like I said, it is a wonderful thing. And as Johnny Brofo has just mentioned, we've hit 3 hours. Or as I always do, that's for you, Dale. Anyhow, I'm stopping the stream, everybody. Genuinely, that was... Here we go, John Harris. That was fantastic. That was a really, really great stream. And, well, all I can say is this. Jason, are you going to be doing a stream discussing your -16 once I stop streaming? Who knows? See you later, guys, and see you soon.